Botrix. Botrix has correctly joined the channel. Siri_bot. Siri_bot has joined Siribolove. Stream elements. Artextric is now live. Streaming art, digital art stream surprise character design study along with skin coloring part 3 #animeerd. Botrix official. Be a support hero today. By using commands like, support. Artextric. You're late. No luck. Artist palette wavy-artist palette. To freeze. Hi.
Chrissy? Oh, you're still here. Okay.
Hi teach.
What the hell? What the hell? I didn't mean my. Okay, I end up. Okay, hold on. I ended up starting the stream when I didn't mean to start the stream yet. I don't know how long I've been on stream, to be honest.
How are you?
I'm doing well. I was not supposed to be on yet, but whatever.
Sam Earl.
That's when I pressed the button.
Face red droopy eyes.
I hate this keyboard, I swear. Hold on. Let's see. Oh, it's the Bane Gang one today. Hold on.
Artextric. It said Twitch started about a minute ago.
It started a minute ago? Okay, so there's nothing crazy that was said.
JR. You are very very quiet on YouTube.
Am I? Hold on. Maybe the mic's not close enough. Alright,
Sam Earl.
hold on.
It's low the audio.
Audio's low. Okay.
No luck. Yeah, your voice is near inaudible. JR.
Why is that?
There you go.
Okay. Okay.
No luck.
Let
Yay.
me see. I wasn't ready to start on the stream. I must have hit the button on the keyboard without realizing
freeze.
it.
I like the drawing I made. Should I color it?
Wait, are you asking me? It's a drawing.
Artextric. Yeah, just sounded like you were far away, but it's better now.
Yeah,
Sam Earl.
I wasn't near the.
I said it right? XD.
Since I'm late, because I was dealing with a family situation.
Sam Earl. Cat Orange whistling hello again.
We'll do 2 videos. Well, technically 3 videos. We'll do 3 videos. 2 videos.
Artextric. At freeze, that's up to you. It's your artwork.
Oh, let me see. Anti-charges. Badges. That's 26 minutes. I'm not sitting there for that shit. I like it when the videos are pretty small and to the point. I was gonna jump on the whole like what do you call it? Moist critical situation, but honestly I don't give a shit, to be honest. And not because I like Charlie or anything. I like Charlie so far, but like given what that hot take he took, not the best hot take. Do I Does that make me hate him? No, because we're not all gonna make the best,
Artexrtic.
you know, response to everything.
Will you be doing VR today or no since you got here late?
Fuck. I don't know. I really don't know. We'll see how the stream goes. I finally got to eat, so I'm not fucking weak anymore. I'm so glad about that part. I'm not weak. I was very, like, lightheaded and shit because of my fasting. But now, I'm not fasting till probably next week. I was fasting like 3 straight days, so I didn't eat nothing for 3 straight days, and I got to eat today, so I was like, okay, now I feel like
Sam
alive.
Earl. Face orange biting nails. Artexrtic. Good. Can't have you passing out. JR.
What the hell is that? Hold up.
I'm involuntarily fasting till I catch up on bills LOL.
I get you. You gotta save that money. Hold on. What the fuck? This is a big boy. Yeah, you big boy. Holy hell. Bro, that's like the biggest moth I ever seen. Holy shit. That is the biggest moth I ever seen. Like, I don't mean to be that guy right now, but like, damn. That got me. Like, I just saw this moth just fly right on my window screen, and I was like, damn, you're big.
Sugar and salt water soup is the meal of choice. Face with tears of joy.
Sugar and salt water soup. You put sugar and salt in the same soup? It doesn't sound like it should be a thing.
Artexrtic. What is it with you and bugs LOL?
I don't know, the motherfucker just flew right on my wall, on my window. I opened the window because it's hot as balls in this
JR.
shit.
Biggest moth you've ever seen, so far. Simpson quote.
Right now, that one, I can say, like, that one's about, like, I can't even, like, if I need to describe it, it's gonna sound small. That's what makes it funny. Like, if I describe it, it's gonna sound small. It's gonna seem small because you're not gonna, like, it's one thing when you see it, it's another thing when I say it. That's why,
JR. Whoosh.
It's like this. It's like if I told you something horrific, right? You're gonna have I wouldn't say a bias outlook on it.
I'm scared of bugs.
But like it's not going to hit you the same as you see it. So, it's like if I said, "Oh, this person hit this kid in the face." You gotta like, oh, someone probably just hit a kid, probably accident, or maybe they did it on purpose, but it's not as freaking egregious as you see it. It's one thing you see it, it's another thing when you hear it. It's like, it's two different things.
JR. You've apparently never seen The Suns because my joke did not land at all. LOL.
See I've seen The Suns because no, I don't think I have. Okay, let me get this party started. Hold on. I was not supposed to get on just now. I was supposed to get on like at 5:20, but since it's 5 something, shit. That's Black Panther is Black Panther. Oh, it's All the Stars. That was the song.
Ryaga Samurai. Good afternoon, everyone.
Is it All the Stars? Isn't that the song called? Wait. Black Panther.
Some NCR guy. Stop motion.
Panther.
Hello.
Music.
Hello, Bri. Sam Earl. Glasses purple yellow diamond. Ryaga Samurai. Hi Mono.
Oh, I guess you're not allowed to use that song. Okay, that's some bullshit. Okay, fuck,
Kitty got
okay.
492. Super late. Bot Rick's
I
official.
had family stuff to deal
Be a
with.
support hero today.
There
By
was
using
no
commands like
ifs, ands, or buts on my
/donation
behalf.
and /cash app.
Alright, so let's pull this down. So we're gonna do
Kitty
about
got 492.
3.
Okay, I understand.
We have 3, and plus I forget it. Anyway, so we have 3 reactions we're gonna do. 2 of them are about, one's about massive layoffs going on with Bungie. The second one is about AI, and the third one is about something art related, something about anime art. Technically game art. I'm gonna show you guys. I'm gonna put everything into place. I was supposed to be on since like 11 a.m. or at least 9 a.m. But because of family issues, I had to go deal with some stuff, and it ended up me being here longer than I was because it was not intentional for that to happen. So I apologize for those who was waiting on me to be on early, which I do aim to be on early. I don't ever try to actually be on the afternoon time because, you know, most people are either coming home, they don't want to do anything, or, you know, it is what it is. So I'm sorry for that, for those who was waiting on me to be on early. I'll try not to let that happen again. I can't promise you. This is why I never made the effort to put a time schedule, because I have to work around my family schedule because they own a restaurant, so I have to help them with that. So, and I help them with stuff that they can't deal with, or like
Kitty got
online
492.
stuff, or go
It's
help.
fine, I was napping 3.
Yeah. Plus, I'm very much more alive than before because I'm not tired anymore from doing my fasting. My 3-day fast.
Kitty got 492. I passed out by I think 12 to 3.
Now, I don't know if we're gonna do VR yet, because given the fact that
Your parents have a restaurant?
yeah, they own one.
Kitty got 492. No to 2 I meant. Sam Earl. Person blue holding pencil.
Maybe I should change the song. Yeah, maybe I should change the song. Given the fact that I can't use that.
If ever come to America I gotta go visit it.
I'm not gonna tell you what that is. That's something I will not mention. For my own reasons. Post time-lapse, timeline. Okay, so let me see here. Oh wait, I'm on TikTok. So this is on YouTube Shorts. What the fuck? Oh my god.
Yeah, I thought you would say it.
Mm-hmm. Four. What is it? 4? I don't know. It's reactions, whatever. Commission art and reactions. I'll just put that there. Alright, next. God, I hate starting late. It's just it's like, I feel like I shouldn't even do anything, but like, we need to keep focus on the goal. I really do not want, when your live ends, your coffee video will, okay, I don't care. That right. and then we'll get TikTok. Okay, YouTube's ready. TikTok's ready. I hate doing this because I hate having you guys sit here and listen to this. This is why I don't
Sam Earl.
get on so easily.
Now I have the live over apps. Laughing face.
Hmm? Let me see. Okay. Should I do this? Let me see.
Ironikai. Teach Wonk did it. LOL.
Oh wait, where's the? What the what? What the what? Oh, what the? What the hell? Oh, I didn't click it. That's why. Okay. I hate when that happens. Okay. Just to be clear, can you guys hear the fan? Is the fan too loud? Why is it? Oh.
Ironikai. He tests streaming on both platforms. LOL cries how they grow up so fast.
Yeah.
Ryaga Samurai. Hi Aaron. Some NCR guy. Stop motion. Nah.
Okay, good. Alright, so
Kitty
as I'm
got
working on
492.
this...
So you're gonna wait to see if you're gonna do VR?
No, we're gonna
Yeah,
see
I
how...
can hear it.
No,
Ironikai.
we're gonna see how
Hi
the
Bri.
stream actually,
Ryaga
like,
Samurai.
performs.
A little. Hi Aaron.
Okay, put this here. Put
Ironikai.
this down here.
Hi Manu.
I may have to make a whole new, like, visual, what you guys are
Sam
seeing
Earl.
here. I think I may have to change this.
Nice Nick.
So like this. I may have to change this. I may have to change this whole, like, template. I made this from scratch. I may have to make a whole new one just for reactions. So the box is not so small. I feel like it's just too small sometimes. And I do think you guys do like looking at what's being said.
Beanbag. Hi Mono, hi Aaron, hi Bri. Beanbag. Hi everyone.
Alright, so... Oh, one thing.
Ironikai. Hi Bean, green heart, green heart.
Voices. Where's the background voice? Background voice. Oh, okay.
Beanbag. It is.
Okay, so hello everyone. My name is Artextric's, and today we're going to be doing some reactions. I guess I'll start.
Sam Earl.
We're gonna do some reactions as I do artwork.
Beanbag.
So
It
today,
is small.
it's very
Ryaga
small.
Samurai. Hi Bean.
We're gonna do some reactions here. So this is from Clownfish.
If you will, can you make a bigger drawing screen? When on YouTube it's kinda small. JR.
We gotta figure that out
If
later.
it's too big though, someone might copyright strike you.
Yeah, that's
Hi,
the
Brad.
problem. That's usually the biggest problem. In most cases. That's why I don't want that. That's why I'm kind of I'm in this weird phase of should I just leave it be? Maybe I should just leave it be. Because 9 times out of 10, you don't have to visually see it. Most cases, you just have to listen. That's why I pick these type of videos, because they're not videos for you to watch. They're videos for you to listen. And then we use our brains and come up with a consensus to whatever's what the subject's about. So, like, you know. All right, so this is from Clownfish TV. It says Bungie layoffs, massive staff cuts, gamers blame DEI. Now we all know what DEI is, and we know how much of a poison that it has become for the gaming industry or just any industry known to man. But it seems like Bungie is really losing a bunch of
ID put the video over the chat so it's a bit bigger if you want to make it larger.
Maybe, but we'll see. I'll have to do a whole different like template when I make it again, because I had to make this from scratch. I didn't use any other template. I literally had to use my brain to put this together. So we'll figure it out. But anyway, so this is Bungie. This is Clownfish TV, and they're talking about the whole Bungie.
You could make kinda so that your V model is in front of it.
I am technically in front of it, but like, well, behind it now. Like I put the layers much better. But let me see. Hold up. It feels kind of like
some NCR guy.
Cut off.
Stop motion. Didn't Bungie make Halo till 343?
You mean 303? Yeah, I think it was 303 Studios. Is it 343? I think it's 343. 343 and Bungie made, I think, Halo, and then I think they went separate ways, and then that's where Halo started fucking off. As in, like, it's not as cool as it used to with the kids anymore. But anyway, so this is Bungie, this is Clownfish TV talking about the Bungie layoffs, because of the DEI. So we're gonna listen to this and see where this goes. Hopefully this becomes...
If you put it like in a corner, others wouldn't be able to copy it.
Oh, that's
Some
what technically it
NCR
is.
guy.
But we'll
Stop
talk about
motion.
this later. So anyway, let's jump into it.
They got fired or sold after Halo Reach.
Yeah, so let's see
Or
what...
give you a copyright strike.
Or that too. So we'll see.
Artextric. Audio is low for video.
Gamers like a lot of the current trends in triple. Hey guys.
Oh, fuck this. Anyway, this is Clownfish TV. Bungie layoff mass staff cuts gamers blame DEI. We all know what's about the DEI thing and why it's been a poison amongst all industries, and we're going to hear about it.
Sam Earl.
And Bungie is having a lot of problems.
I don't want to
so
say anything XD.
Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is
Sam Earl.
Neon. I'm not here with
I
Geeky
think that was the
Sparkles
rain.
in this video. I'm going to talk about the video game industry. And the biggest news in the video game industry this week is Bungie gutting, I believe, about 30% or more than 30% of their staff. They actually got community noted. They tried to say that they only laid off 17% of their staff, but according to Twitter, according to X, it's closer to a third of their staff. It's not looking good. We're going to talk about the utter state
Sam
of
Earl.
AAA gaming right now.
Person
Again,
was waving.
how many videos have we done on this? That AAA gaming studios are self-deleting. I believe they're trying to blame the CEOs, and I do blame the CEOs to some degree because I think they overspent on product nobody wanted. But at the end of the day, it was, again, the product that nobody wanted. Nobody wanted what was being sold. And we can talk about the reasons for that. I don't think gamers like a lot of the current trends in AAA gaming. I think that we could talk about the political side of it, the DEI side of it. We could also talk about the scheming and the all the loot boxes and DLC and live service and all this other stuff.
That and the ovulication of women. We're gonna pretend that doesn't exist. We need pretty women. Pretty women sell stuff, I know.
We could talk about gamers just being burnt out on newer games, titles that seem to ship that are not finished. And a lot of people just going back to the old favorites. They're not playing the new games. So this is this is not good news for Bungie. I don't even know what this company is anymore. It's a lot leaner. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the backlash toward the CEO of the company because he dared go out and buy a couple of cars before he laid his staff off, which is kind of douchey. I know in Japan, the CEO is expected to fall on their sword if they failed the company. They're expected to take a financial hit themselves because it's their responsibility to make sure everybody gets to keep their jobs. And if they can't do that, then they should not be out there spending a lot of money. But we'll take a look at this. Lots of people complaining, lots of people upset, lots of people shocked. I don't know why they're shocked. And again, I'm not making fun of anybody who got laid off, but like, have you not read the tea leaves? This year has been terrible. Last year was not good. I think next year is going to be worse. A lot of people are like, survive until 25. I'm like, I don't think it's going to get any better. We've got voice actors on strike right now trying to fight against AI, but I think video game voice actors are probably a lot more replaceable than live actors and animation voice actors.
Be a support hero today.
And the industry is just going to have to contract. It's going to have to shrink. And it's mostly in the West, right? It's mostly AAA gaming studios in the West that are blowing themselves up. We don't see this as much overseas. We're not seeing this as much in the indie space, except for all the companies that sold out to Embracer Group. And that is a huge problem. All these equity firms that are buying up game studios is a huge problem. Yes, we've got a handful of companies that own like everything. And I've talked about that at length in different videos. But let's talk about all this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, go out to Clownfish Gaming. We have more gaming news and gameplay videos out on Clownfish Gaming. Subscribe to the audio version of Clownfish TV and Derezed on Spotify, Amazon, iTunes, wherever you find podcasts, and you can listen to us on the go. So yeah, this is coming from Push Square. This was yesterday. I think the news broke yesterday. Reaction: Sony's $1 billion Bungie buyout looks more and more like a blunder. Push Square says that they did not understand the $3.6 billion acquisition of Bungie. They said that the Halo creator was always something of a panic buy. Felt like the firm snagged the Destiny developer purely to stop anyone else from owning it. And many analysts at the time mentioned that the Japanese giant might have overpaid. Yeah, I think they massively overpaid, because then they turned around and they just fired everybody. They said readers didn't understand it. They said in a poll published in the aftermath of the announcement, a sizable 32% of you seemed bemused by the news, while another 23% felt it was a bad decision. They said the idea was to establish a so-called live service center of excellence with Bungie. Yeah, that goes over so well. They said without being intimate with the inner workings of the studio, we always found it strange. Destiny 2 had long been criticized by its player base, and all the outside noise around the title seemed to signal discontent. Lightfall had a disastrous reception, and it's only the final shape that developer appears to have won back some of its fans. Is anybody playing Destiny?
I'm sorry, I stopped playing Destiny back in 2015. Oh, not 2015. It was 2017, 2018. I just stopped. I just couldn't do it no more with Destiny. Destiny just, I don't know. It just I don't know. Something about it just kind of died off for me. It was fun at one point, and then it just kind of got weird. I don't know why. And then when you think about it, if you play Destiny 2, you're going to be lost. You got to technically play Destiny 1, play all the other DLCs, and then slap the Destiny 2 base game, and then you have to play all the other DLCs. You're spending a lot of money just to play if you want the whole Destiny experience, you're going to be dropping about $600+ on this motherfucker. That's a lot of money. All the DLC, unless they have some bundles. I'm pretty sure there's bundles where you're paying a little less, but Jesus Christ. I don't know. Something about Destiny was just really, it changed for me. I don't know, I felt the player base kind of changed in that sense too, or kind of felt that way too, like I did, but Jesus Christ. I don't know. Something about that game.
JR. What I hated about Destiny 2 is that they would just boost everyone to the same level every single expansion.
Oh yeah, they'll do that.
So what was the point of trying?
I don't know. This is why I think games like Warframe did a lot better with their player base and knew what their audience was. I'm pretty sure Warframe had their problems. Something I don't think even similar to Destiny, but they have their problems. But I'm pretty sure it's a lot better than Destiny. They at least listen to their player base to a certain extent. But Jesus Christ, something about Destiny just kind of died for me within 2017, 2018. I stopped playing around late 2018, 2019. Not 2019. It was 2017, 2018. In between those times, it just died for me. I just stopped playing. One day I just said I ain't playing this game no more. Not even because I was losing at something. It just something in me just fuck this. Same thing with Grand Theft Auto. Grand Theft Auto died for me after a while. It just kind of got boring. I think that's what it is. I think it got boring for me.
Right now, I don't hear of anybody talking about Destiny. And the only reason anybody would buy Bungie is because of Halo. But Halo's gone. Microsoft has it, and they ran that into the ground too. You see a pattern here? Like every time one of these corporations buys one of these game studios or indie studios that have a hit, they run it into the ground. So let's talk about the layoffs here. God, there's so much to talk about. The Verge says it was only 220 employees. Actually, they got community noted. Robo HTID, I don't know, on X says Bungie got community noted about the layoffs. Could it get any worse? They said this morning we shared an important update with the Bungie team on the difficult decision to eliminate.
Let me see. To be fair, it came out 2013. Yeah, but it died for me. I just didn't.
220 roles of Bungie. You can read the full statement below. Readers add context. 450 is the estimated total reduction in staff from 1,300. 220 is 17% of 1,294 to 850. This represents 34.6%. A 34.
I think what made me not hate, but like what died for me for GTA, if I remember now, is like I think it was the heist DLC. Man, if you want to hate your friends, if you want to hate, if you have frenemies or you got friends and you want to ruin your friendship, play the heists at the very beginning of the height of that. Jesus Christ! If you want to hate yourself and hate your family, hate your family or friends, play the heist DLC. Now I'm pretty sure people can play it now, and they have figured out ways. But when it first came out, oh my God, you will hate everyone if they don't do their job. Oh man, Jesus Christ!
6%.
Oh, and you definitely hate yourself if you play heist by yourself. Never do that. Oh man, I learned my lesson on that shit. Never play by yourself. You'll ever rarely get anyone that's competent enough to do their job. Or people just be screwing around. Jesus Christ. Some people do it just to ruin it for other people because it was just trolling. It was just wild.
Reduction.
Some NCR guy. Stop motion.
Bungie has reportedly canceled Destiny 3 payback following layoffs.
Only DLCs and bundles and overpowered players.
So the thing is about with Destiny, I remember when playing it, I don't know if they still do this in Destiny 2, but I'm pretty sure they do. But like in Destiny 1, if you didn't have any of the DLCs, you're pretty much screwed. They made sure that, because even though you may not have the Destiny packs, like the Destiny DLCs, if you had base game, you'd be extremely limited from your friends to play game. Now I'm not saying you should have the DLCs for free. I'm saying like most of the time when you have base game, just base game alone, you can hardly do anything. So you're incentivized to, or incentivized to buy DLC just to experience some of the game, or if you want most of the game, you gotta buy all the shits. I'm pretty sure, like I said, there must be bundles and stuff for you to buy from Destiny, but like after a while, you start realizing it's the same shit. After a while, and it's like this is not really going anywhere. It's not really going anywhere.
Yeah, they're going to do a Destiny 3. I don't know. Let's go out to Bounding in the Comics. They have an article kind of encapsulating the feeling here, and we'll talk about where things are at politically. I think that has a lot to do with it. I know people don't like to talk about it, but it's the elephant in the room. It is absolutely the elephant in the room, or the donkey, if you'd prefer. There is definitely a political element
for free, and the DLC was grouped together for like a tenth of the price. The issue is they really lack serious creativity and skill.
Yeah, the thing with the creativity, it was the same thing. Like, okay, you go, like, say you're doing a mission with your friends. To open the door, you have to kill this many enemies, or yeah, it's kind of like typical RPG shit. To a certain extent, you have to kill these many like enemies just to open one door. It'll be kind of the same thing over and over again. It just lacked, like, I get what they was doing. It was the base way of keeping people interested, but it was not different enough from any other. I would say it was like a semi-MMO. It was like kind of mimicking that type of shit.
Element to why all of these AAA.
Like if you played, I think, City of Heroes or like the DC Universe. I think it's called DC Universe. DC Universe games. You know what I'm talking about.
It's why I hated New World.
Yeah.
It was cookie cutter, reskin, Fetch questing.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, I think the best thing I liked about Destiny, at least in my favorite part about Destiny, maybe this not be for y'all, but my favorite part of Destiny when playing it was literally the what do you call it? The scooter thing. What do you call it? The Sparrow. I actually enjoyed driving the Sparrow sometimes. I really did. It was a nice joyride. Especially if the map was big enough, you felt like you was going on like a literal joyride on that thing. It was really fun to a certain extent. I actually do enjoy the Sparrows. It was really fun to drive those.
Gaming studios are failing.
And
Destiny,
then I think they had Sparrow like races. I don't know if they did like a thing where if you had a high level Sparrow, you'd be faster than anyone else. I don't think they did that.
Lungchi. Hey Teach, it's been a minute.
Hey, what's up, Ty? What's going on, bro?
creator Bungie blames mass layoffs on tough economy, but fans cry foul and point to years of virtue signaling. Said this morning, Bungie CEO Pete Parsons announced significant changes for the game development studio. The top of those changes will be an almost 20% reduction. Actually, they're saying closer to 34%,
Dungeons and Dragons
which is bad.
It's fairly fun.
Yeah, it's fairly. As long as it's not fun, it just gets repetitive. It gets pretty repetitive. Pretty much. Hold on, guys.
Ty_Lungchi.
Parsons is blaming rising development costs, industry shifts, and enduring economic conditions. Basically, we're overpaying people to create games that nobody's buying.
Yeah, I've been doing
well.
Doing
not rocket science, but there it is. Because of this, Bungie will refocus its development efforts entirely on Destiny and Marathon. People said that they were doing the Destiny 3. It's canceled. I don't know. I don't really follow Destiny. I have no interest in Destiny. I played the first one a little bit, and I'm like, it's okay. It's all right. So yeah, starting today, 220 roles will be eliminated. The mass layoffs represent roughly 17% of their workforce. This will impact all levels of the company, including executive and senior leadership positions. Parsons acknowledged the difficulty of the decision and expressed gratitude for the contributions. It's going to be a challenging time at Bungie, and we'll need to help our team navigate these changes in the weeks and months ahead. Yeah, I don't think they're going to have it because they're already calling him out because he went and bought sports cars. We'll get to that part. He went and bought a couple of sports cars before laying people off. But again, if that's his personal money and it's not business money, what are you going to do? It said in addition to workforce reductions, Bungie is going to implement two major strategic changes. First of all, the studio will deepen its integration with Sony Interactive, which a lot of people thought was going to happen. They're just going to fold it into Sony. Over the next few quarters, 155 roles, or 12% of Bungie's workforce, will transition to Sony. The move is aimed at preserving talent that would otherwise be lost due to layoffs. Secondly, Bungie will collaborate with PlayStation Studios leadership to spin out one of its incubation projects, an action game set in a new science fantasy universe. So, Halo 3.0, if Destiny was Halo 2.0.
I'm doing a commission for a client of mine who happens to be one of my mods. She wanted me to draw her persona in a bikini.
I know. It's just basically another Halo. You know what I'd like to see? Bungie, if you're listening to this episode, bring back Myth the Fallen Lords. God, I love that game so much. I played the shit out of that game back in the day. I had it for my Macintosh because it's one of the few decent games you can get for a Mac back in the day, and I loved it. I used to play it all the time. I would love to see an update to Myth, but I don't think we're going to see it. So the reasons behind the restructuring were several factors. They said over the past 5 years, Bungie aimed to develop 3 enduring global franchises. This ambition led to the creation of several incubation projects, stretching the studio's talent and resources thin. They Icarus themselves. The rapid expansion in 2023 coincided with broad economic slowdown and a downturn in the games industry. Players are sick of bullshit, overpriced AAA titles. Compounding these challenges were issues with Destiny 2 Lightfall and the final shape in Marathon. We were overly ambitious and our financial safety margins were exceeded. Here are the reactions online. Reactions were swift and pointed to multiple instances of hypocrisy by the studio and its CEO. In one instance, ex-user Manga Lawyer pointed out how the studio spent the better part of 2 years focusing on virtue signaling instead of working on its own projects. Bungie spent 2 years virtue signaling about everything except video games. During this time, their developers aggressively attacked gamers and became obsessed with pronouns and claims of justice, often targeting white males. 2 years later, the same company fired 200 people. There is definitely a correlation between doubling down on politics and losing money. If only we had a term for that, but it's true. It happens time and time again because you alienate the core audience. And I haven't been paying super close attention to Bungie, but I imagine every June their social media feed looks exactly like you would expect it to look. And I imagine every big political thing going on or global catastrophe or whatever, their social media feeds probably look exactly like you would expect. Halo's doing the same thing. Didn't they have like rainbow Spartan armor or something? And then which was it Call of Duty that had the trans flag on bullet casings? I'm like, what the hell are you thinking? What are you thinking? Yeah, here we go. Black Lives Matter. Welcome to Pride at Bungie. Yeah, so why do they do this? Partially. Why do they do this? There are a lot of theories about DEI being tied to ESG, that certain lenders, certain investors want to see commitment to social causes before they part with their money. And you're expected, once they invest in your company, you're expected to continue to do that, right? That's part of the deal. And that is true to a certain extent. Now, we could argue as to how much influence these investors have over your company, but if they're taking money, they're taking equity, they're taking private investments, they're taking, whatever from BlackRock or, whatever. Yeah, there are going to be strings attached to it. Do I think they actually believe it? No, not really. But that part of that is, and this is how I think we got the infestation of sensitivity readers and DEI consultants in the video game industry. It's probably like, hey, we don't know how to be diverse. Well, we're going to show you how to be diverse. Here, we've got the phone number of this great little boutique studio consultancy firm called Sweet Baby Inc. You call them, they'll take care of your problems, and then we can invest in your company. I don't know the specifics of how it works, but I get the feeling that's probably how it works.
Hi,
right?
I gave up on drawing you as an artist, so you're gonna have to
take our money, and you're going to push our politics. And why is every company out there saying the same things, doing the same things, whatever? Because they're all taking money from the same place or places, and it's expected. I know this firsthand. I know we've actually looked at different investors for different businesses over the years, and they do have a lot more sway over your business than you think they do. They do. Manga Lawyer says, Bungie CEO, the communist LGBT symbols, the audacity of promoting Be Kind while firing 25% of the workforce, catering to the same type of people who would ultimately eat you alive. This is what happens when you prioritize sending a message over quality. It's beautiful to watch. So Pete Parsons is under attack now because he bought a car. He bought multiple cars, I guess. The Sam Bartley
Ironica
says, coward, you did this.
Why you on TikTok?
You chose this. I'm already listed as do not work with, and I don't care anymore.
Crazy.
Ouch.
It's about
You lied to my
destiny.
face straight to it. You also invited me to come see your new cars 2 days before you laid me off. 2 fucking days. Leave now. So they're calling for Pete Parsons to step down. Now, this happened to me too. I'm going to be honest. I actually had an opportunity to talk to my former CEO after he did pretty much the same thing to me. I think I talked to him on the Friday before the layoffs on Monday, and I asked him where we were at with the company because my daughter was just turning like 5 or 6 years old. I think she turned 6. And I'm like, I have a family. Like, if things are not good with this company, I got to figure everything's fine. Everything's fine. I'm like, I got to figure something else out. And he lied to my face. He said, everything's fine. You don't have anything to worry about. We'll talk about it next week. And yeah, we did talk about it next week. I got laid off along with a bunch of other people next week or the following week. And he wasn't there. I got hauled into HR. They had the paperwork there. And they had somebody there that was, I guess, security. I'm like, what do you think I'm gonna do? Like I was a pencil pusher. I was a marketing manager. What do you think I'm gonna do? Like tear up the place? It's like, geez, it's so humiliating, right? It's like you do everything you can do for this company you're working for, and that's how they let you go. But yeah, I was there. I mean, this is just part of the course.
We gotta stop thinking because you work for a company, they're going to prioritize your individuality for being there.
I eat glass point 789.
They're a soulless
Hey Erie,
robot.
I sent you a drawing that I don't know if I can add to artwork.
So you should never ever expect. You should never expect for the company to ever be in your favor unless it doesn't go against their bottom line. As long as it doesn't go against their bottom line, they're gonna let you do what you please under those type of circumstances. But like most cases, stop expecting because you work at a company for X amount of years, they're gonna just be nice to you or give you leeway. That might happen if you're in a high position to a certain extent, but 9 times out of 10, if you're a pencil pusher, as Neon says, they don't give a shit. They don't care. They just don't care. They don't care. As long as you're not CEO, a shareholder, or something to that extent, or even a high position right under the CEO to a certain spots, they do not give a shit.
Corporate America, this is how it works. It's not personal, Sam, and I don't know how difficult you are or not to work with. If he invited you to look at his cars, maybe he did like you. But at the end of the day, it's not personal, it's business. But yeah, I ran into that CEO about 2 years later, and he wanted to chit chat with me. He wanted to make small talk, and I snubbed him. I didn't talk to him. I walked right by him. I looked at him. I think I grunted, or I just kept on walking because I'm like, you didn't even have the balls to tell me when I asked you directly, because I had access to the financials, and I'm like, I know we're not doing good. I know things aren't doing good. I'm not stupid. I know how things work. Yeah, you lied to my face. So yeah,
I went through this once. A company divided us into 3 groups, and then wanted us to have meetings. 2 groups had meetings in the giant boardrooms, and 1 group they pretended to use the parking garage.
The parking garage? That sounds odd. I'm not too familiar with corporate talk, or at least corporate like sections, but that sounds odd. I might be ignorant for saying this, but that sounds very strange. Like, almost sus to the point where it's gonna be like, you know, I'm gonna get fired. I don't know. What happened? I'm curious. What happened? Did anything weird happen? Like, does people get laid off? Like, I'm very curious on that, how that happened.
I snubbed him. I haven't talked to him since. Anyway, so
JR.
it does happen. Yeah, he's going.
Yeah, they literally took them to the parking garage and laid them off,
Wow.
so they couldn't even get their stuff. Their stuff was mailed to them.
Damn, they were so worried about the backlash of them going crazy, or any of them going postal at that moment, that they said, you know what, we're gonna put you in the garage, we're gonna lay you off, you ain't going inside the building to get your shit, we'll send it to you. Alright? Have a nice day. No hard feelings,
JR.
right? What the hell?
Imagine getting laid off and not having your backpack, purse, phone, or whatever it is you need.
That's very
I.e.
weird.
Glass point 789. Your combo's lead?
Wait. That's weird as hell. Like, why would they... Wait, I don't understand. Why would they... Why would they not let you take your shit? I don't understand. Is it just because they're worried that someone might go crazy? Or, like, make a scene? I guess because it was a high flux of people, they just think they was gonna ride at the... Oh yeah, that probably makes sense. If we're going to lay off like 10, 15, even 20 people, I don't think it was that much, but maybe that was that much. Maybe it was between 5 to probably 20 people. 5, 10, 15, 20, 20 people, 15, I'll say 15. Probably 10 at max. That can start, I don't want to say a riot, but it will start a problem.
I.e. Glass point 789. Gotta do whatever to save your company, I guess.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. I don't know how I feel about that. That's crazy.
Unprotected. Wow. Bruiser here says, a quick look at Glassdoor shows the average starting
JR.
salary at Bungie is about
Most companies will try to bribe you with a severance to not rat them out on social media, because layoffs are technically illegal. You have to give 60 days notice unless the employee signs an agreement.
So what they do? They try to ask you to sign an NDA right before or after you get laid off? I doubt it, though. Anyone will sign that right after getting laid off. It's not like anyone's gonna probably listen at that point. So I see why. Damn, that's crazy.
$75,000.
So wait, this is stupid. So wait, wouldn't it make sense if you're gonna hire someone, they already signed the NDA before? So if some bullshit happens, they already got you on their NDA?
So my theory is that they wanted to keep them from their phones. Restream.io.
Oh.
Trophy, congratulations.
Okay. I see. Yeah, it's
You've
like,
received 100
it's exactly
messages
what I
today
said. It's
with
like,
Restream
if
chat.
if there's a group of people and they can't get to their phones, they can't make a big, stink, especially if they're right in the facility.
It's a lot of money and you don't have a job, so almost everyone when laid off signs it.
That makes sense. Because we live in a time where anything goes wrong, you must pull out your phone no matter what, either for legal reasons or just being an irritant. So what happens is that when you get laid off, they'll be like, okay, you guys getting laid off here, we're going to send you your stuff. Because what they're doing is preventing you or a group of people to have a high mind thinking to say, pull out your phones and make a big scene and be loud and shit at the company where there's cameras here and everywhere where anyone can make problems, and then that'll be a legal issue and blah, blah, blah. And I see why. Wow, that's terrible.
He spent around $500,000 on cars
and
since
like
the October layoffs.
I cannot even legally tell you what happened, what I had to do, or what I received. So just imagine. JR. Not that situation, I was work from home when it happened to me.
Damn,
I
really
eat glass .789. Bro, whenever I see your lives I end up drawing.
Good, that's the whole point. So even if you're not paying attention to what we're talking about, hope you're focusing on doing some artwork or the artwork I'm doing.
Positions on a hobby.
But yeah, JR, I'm sorry about that, bro. Sorry for that happened to you. I'm so sorry. At least it was at home.
I'm sure he did everything he could to prevent the layoffs. It's what he bought. He's got some nice cars. 58 Volkswagen Beetle sunroof sedan. But this is what happens when there are layoffs. And I'm not saying this is a good person or a bad person, right? I think he's probably just a corporate shithead. I mean, they're a dime a dozen. But people start to take stock of other people's money when they get laid off. And it is true. I mean, like I said, in my case, I got laid off from my one job. I knew my boss was building a brand new house, like a freaking $1 million house. And I'm like, I know it doesn't sound like much if you're listening from like California, but in Pennsylvania, $1 million house is a pretty damn nice house. And I was like, man, you asshole. It's like, you asshole. You just laid a bunch of people off and you're building yourself a mini mansion here in the Pennsylvania wilds. But yeah, I mean, it sucks. It does suck. But how do we get here? I think that's what we need to absolutely positively address, is how we got here. We got here because people weren't buying your product. And it's not just Bungie. It's Activision. It's, Microsoft. Well, I guess it's the same thing now. It's so many other studios. Embracer shutting down studios completely. The AAA gaming space is not viable. Why is it not viable? Consumers don't want your product.
Because activists has infiltrated everything. From the crazy communists to like your gender studies major, whatever. They have all infiltrated everything. And because they're coming from the colleges, they believe they're in they have their this moral right to destroy everything they come across. Even when they think they're not destroying anything, I think majority of these kids are actually under the impression that they're doing something in social justice for the world, but they're just brainwashed to just destroy everything. I think that's what it is. I don't think they are purposely doing it because they want to do it. I think they're doing it because they believe they're doing they're making a difference. But that difference is causing a lot of problems. And if you have anything against that so-called difference, you are the problem. You need to be excommunicated or worse. That's where this is coming from, and because there's a high influx of them, and some of them pretend to be on your side, and then when they finally get in, they start changing things. This is why the AI is going to be favored over most of these young kids, whether in the gaming space or tech space or whatever the case may be, because as long as we have the AI, it doesn't talk back.
Be a support hero
it doesn't
today.
have to give its opinion
by using commands
it doesn't
like
have to go
support.
It doesn't have to prove some type of injustice. It's just a robot. It doesn't have any feelings. It doesn't have any concerns. It doesn't eat. It doesn't sleep. It doesn't need anything, but just does its job. So that's favorable than the activist who's going to give me lip because I said the wrong pronoun that day.
Enough people
just facts.
Want your product. It costs too much to make. You're not getting a return on your investment.
And the sad thing, the pronoun doesn't just stay where it is. It sometimes morphs, and they don't tell you. And then when you do when it does morph, they usually don't tell you. They just kind of wait on someone to fuck up, and then they just kind of like, oh, this is my X, Y, and Z.
Some AI bots can talk back.
If more people were interested in what the AAA gaming space was offering, and they were lining up to fork over their money,
people who disagree with wokeism or DEI as vermin.
Yeah,
which
they do.
Is ironic because that's literally what the bad guy with the mustache from WW2 said.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. It's irony. What's happening is that history is literally repeating itself in the most strangest way ever. And that's not good. That means we didn't learn anything from history, or we didn't teach the younger generation on why history is important. We just kind of like said everything is bad and you are the one have to make all the good. So they're just kind of winging it.
Things will be fine, right? But that's not what's happening. What's happening, and we've been watching this for a while.
Samurai.
What's happening is people are going back and playing they're playing older games. They're buying indie titles. You know, they're not buying console games anymore. A lot of them are switching to PC. Some people are perfectly happy just to have a gaming PC, a couple of older games that they like, maybe one or two live service games that they like, and then a bunch of emulated titles.
Yeah, that's pretty much anyone with a brain will tell you, get a PC. Get a PC. You don't have to get a $3,000 game PC. Just get a PC. You will benefit more from that than anything. Don't get no stupid console. I'm beyond like getting a console. I have consoles, but they're just only here because I didn't have a PC at the time. Now I have a PC. I don't even touch them. My dad touches the console to watch YouTube or the news or some shit. I don't remember the last time I actually touched the Xbox and played a game on it. I don't remember. Are you October 10th? Because you're a 10 out of 10. Oh, thank you. I'm sure that means thank you. I think that was towards me. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, so like if I was anyone, just get a PC. You will benefit from it anyway, and most games are cheaper on Steam. So, and then if the game happens to be expensive, just wait a couple of months or wait a time and it might go on sale.
JR.
It is what it is.
The good thing though, this culture means there is a hole in the market for just good LE indie games.
Yeah, that's why
Let's go.
I said that I think a month or two ago. Like a month or two ago.
Samurai. The thing about PC is which one to get.
Well, it's not more like which one. It's more of like what is your components. If you're making...
I never understood Xbox vs PlayStation Wars and stuff. Like you can't do she on them.
Yeah, you like if you're like it's not really like
glass point 789. Yes, chibi man with a beard is a 10/10.
What you can do is like you can get yourself like a basic like $800 PC, right? And then hopefully you get one that's upgradable. If you can get one that's upgradable, you can upgrade to like a 2,000, 3,000 PC depending on the casing and stuff. In most cases, it's not even hard to figure this out. You can use this up on YouTube, or you can go on like iBuy or what's the other one? What was the other one? I can't think of. iBuy. Fuck. It's there's so many of them. Now I'm having a brain fart. It's gonna be bothering me now. There's so many of them that you can do online. You can like make your own PC online, and then you can ship it to yourself.
JR.
And they'll usually tell you
IB Power.
IB Power, or like you like you don't have to like shoot in the dark. You can usually go
JR.
to IB Power.
But
and
I would
then-
recommend building your own for half the price.
You can build your own for half the price, but if you're too scared to, because I understand, I was kind of scared too. That's why I didn't do that.
Ryaga Samurai.
Um,
Yeah, Mono, it's funny because PlayStation and Xbox fans be beefing while Nintendo Switch fans be vibing.
yeah, well, they be vibing, but like hardware wise, that shit is wild. Because like my girlfriend currently has like a Nintendo Switch, and she's now facing some type of
JR.
issue with the hardware, the software.
My rig is
not good.
$800 and it would cost $3,000 today.
Yeah. So like, and then you can always upgrade it, right? So you can, if you're too scared to put it together, because I know some people are scared because of like hardware components not working, or a case may be, or they was dead on arrival, or like if you put it together and did the wrong thing, like you did something with the CPU, and fucked up putting the paste on, or whatever case may be. You can always go to iBuyPower, and then you can usually
They
customize
only
what you
have
want.
YouTube.
You can customize what you want, and then from online, and then they'll tell you what type of games this rig can play. So it gives you an understanding of what you're dealing with. Clip Studio Paint. So like it's not like you can't go wrong. So you know, and plus the most cases when you buy it like that, you can still upgrade it on your own. You don't have to worry about it just being a one-stop-all type thing, and then you're stuck with it. You can always upgrade it. The one I got was from
Just get a Steam Deck for $399 or $649.
I don't know. I've never in my opinion, I think so. I'm a bit biased because when I look at Procreate is kind of like Procreate, I feel like there's training wheels on when it comes to Procreate. In my opinion, that's just how it feels to me when I watch people use it.
For that money you can get a cheap PC and run some Steam games and a lot more things.
That too. And then whatever Steam games you buy on the Steam Deck, you can always transfer them to your PC. I don't know if they're gonna transfer by memory, but you can always transfer them.
What about Ibis Paint?
I don't know. I hardly ever see anyone use that. It's very rare I ever hear anyone talk about that. So if you can't read news on a console, no, you can't. Hello, Hemlo. I think you mean hello me.
Ryaga Samurai.
But yeah.
I gotcha teach.
So yeah, like if I was you, I would get a PC.
And they're totally happy with that.
JR.
Yeah, we did a video yesterday
solid
talking about
graphics
Twitch
card
and
these
streamers.
days is gonna run you $300 plus by itself.
Yeah, that's usually the biggest thing. Is the graphics card.
It'll
be the graphics
and
card.
It's pretty good.
Like actually, the two things that'll run you high is the graphics card and the CPU.
I eat glass point
Most popular
789.
video games were all old,
I use
old
Ibis
games.
Paint loudly crying face.
Oh.
Nobody was playing Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. It wasn't getting views. It was all Fortnite and Minecraft and Terraria and like Grand Theft Auto 5. Those are what people are playing. They're not playing Destiny 2. Nobody cares. They don't care. And then, you know, so you've got that problem. You should be working very hard to get as many gamers as excited about your product as possible. But then
No, we're going to
Arian.
ridicule gamers for
They
things
make art
that they
tablets,
want.
but when I looked at the price of them, they're like $500 and then some. They're outrageously expensive.
Well, they are.
I have an ad blocker, so I have free brushes at any time.
Yes, because like it's wild. Like when
Have
you
a
think
great
of it,
day. Bot Rick's official.
yeah, we're going
Be
to
a support hero today.
Well, they do.
By using commands like
Okay.
/donation and /cash
What they'll
app.
do is like ridicule and
Smiling face hand pink
yell at
waving.
gamers for being honest or telling their
Ryaga Samurai.
ooh
I hope you have a good day too, Hope.
ooh wait. Yes, Hope. I hope you have a good day. Hey, go have a great day. Hey,
Silver
Hope.
Comet. Hello. What are they doing to gamers?
You know, the typical stuff. You're a terrible person because you don't want to run with our agenda. But, you know, gameplay's not important. Story is not important. Just everything but that. Everything but, if you get what I'm saying. Everything but that. Kind of like what happened at the Olympics. Everything but that. Everything but. But, you know, it is what it is. Everything but. Okay, so...
If you want to draw on a tablet, either get one similar to a monitor so you have multiple uses, or get a normal tablet with a pen.
You alienate a whole bunch of them by doubling down on politics and lecturing them, scolding them, and people associate with these companies. And I'm not saying this person in particular that was calling out the Bungie CEO, but this is an ongoing thing in the gaming industry. And the reason
they're mainly loose, they'd have wrinkles in them mostly, right? Silver Comet.
Everything is imploding.
Oh yeah, that.
Is that the free money has run out. A lot of people were only working in this industry.
Like, I can't answer that. You gotta do that after the stream. I can't answer that. I gotta get the stream out of the way. I already started late, so we'll talk about that after the stream. Because
they had access to venture capital. They had access to, safety net, basically. And it's not there now. Now you have to be profitable. And you only get to siphon off of venture capital for so long. You get like 5 to 8 years, maybe 10 if you're lucky. You get a couple rounds of investment or whatever.
If you have art questions,
all these companies are taking their belt sport
and top of my head.
Machine.
I'm not gonna remember.
Artextric will no longer
because they cannot just go to the Silicon Valley Bank and take out another
if you are a TikTok sub in need of art assistance, please DM a mod for further instructions. Help
or loan or whatever to bankroll people for the next 5 years. So now you got to bring it. And a lot of these people are not going to be able to bring it. The smart ones, the good ones that have been laid off, I'm not talking about the people that kept.
If they're smart, they'll go indie. If they're smart, they'll go indie. I wouldn't even go, like, if I was laid off from, in this time right now, in a AAA studio, I wouldn't even bother trying to get work from a AAA studio, which I know the benefits of how that happens. But, like, if they was smart and thought long term, and if they're friends amongst each other, what they'll do is just do the studio thing with each other and go indie. That's the best thing to do, right? And I had this talk somewhat with JR. I think if I were to make a game, I think I would just go indie. I don't even think I'll go AAA. I would rather work with indie studios than I would work with a AAA studio, to be honest. It just seems safer in that sense. Teach me.
They will go out and start their own studio or something. They'll be fine. Same with journalists that get laid off. They'll be fine. But there are a lot of people that think they're entitled to a job in any particular industry, even when things change. And there are a lot of people in video games, in Hollywood, in publishing that are in for a very, very, very rude awakening this year. And it's never going to go back to what it was. We had this age of free money, and it's gone. It is gone. And it's probably gone forever. So, take what you've learned wherever you've been, wherever you've worked, and apply it to something else. And you're just going to have to stick and move, baby. Stick and move.
By using commands
wrap it up. Please subscribe. We'll talk later.
/Cash App.
Alright, so that was the whole Bungie layoff thing on Clownfish TV. Give them a like, follow, and all that great stuff. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Like, subscribe, share, follow, and comment. I'm sorry for a little bit of the delays of the distractions that I was having in this video, so I'll try to kind of keep that minimized. But with that said, I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great day. Laters. Okay, so now we're on Clownfish TV again, and this one's about AI. It says, Clownfish says, AI is imploding. Google and OpenAI are losing billions. Is this true, or is it just just a exaggeration. So let's see.
Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about artificial intelligence and how investors are losing money on it.
Oh, darn.
Oh, no. So for those of you who don't like AI, there is a bright spot. There might be no financial incentive to move forward with it. Now, I don't think that's going to stop companies from using it to replace jobs because it's just cheaper, but they might slow their roll a little bit. And this might be why everybody is in such a mad rush to adopt AI. It's not because they want to hurt your feelings. It's not because they necessarily want to obliterate your job. It's because they're getting equity. They're getting investors to invest in their company based on the promise of AI being this big money-making thing.
So is that why Google destroyed thousands and thousands of websites for their AIs because they got investors to give them money?
Yeah. And it's not really working out very well.
Google's listed.
They are, yeah. Yeah. So
They've really trashed the internet.
Google has destroyed the internet chasing AI and profits and easy money and yeah. So now a lot of people are talking like we need alternatives to Google because as a search engine, Google no longer works. It's not even accurate.
Will no longer be
Well, we saw it before with the Google with the stuff that they were.
Just to be clear, Jolly Lover is Ari, and she's still a student. Let's just let you know, if you remember, Ari.
Like looking for things, and then they were telling people put glue on their pizza and stuff like that because like that's because they ask things in a weird way, but it's provable that people keep saying something over and over. The AI takes that as fact.
Oh,
yeah,
you know,
and actually Google,
it's easy to confuse it.
Google has been training its AI on Reddit of all places.
Like, I know, right?
I wouldn't believe
not the place I would train my AI.
I would not believe a damn thing that Reddit says, but Google.
For further instructions, help.
To answer the question of drawing a good body, the key is to practice. I know that sounds like a band-aid response, but it is ultimately a guarantee to where you want to be. So you're gonna. So it's not gonna take 1,000 times. It's not gonna take the first 100 times to get it. It might take the first 1,000. Now it depends on your brain is constructed and how you grasp concepts and how much your eye and hand coordination plays together pretty well, and your understanding and analytical eye on how you look at things. But 9 times out of 10, it's all about practice. That's all that's about. What? I didn't do nothing. I didn't do nothing. Shit.
Has been using Reddit. And basically, whoever will play ball on Reddit is playing ball with Google, and they're getting paid to have their balls played with.
Yeah.
So yeah. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about how Facebook is kind of going down the same path. You know, this is not to get political, but Facebook, apparently Meta, if you ask it about the attempt on Trump
where they made AI study of
delete
and other social media and AI turned out racist.
No, I just answered one quick
Silver
question.
comment.
It's not like I did a
What
demonstration. Shit. Right now, I saw a video where they made an AI study of Reddit and
I eat
other social media and AI
789.
turned out racist.
I'll pretend like I didn't hear that.
Shit, that's funny. Pretend to hear what? I just answered a quick question. Jeez, I didn't do a demonstration. The fuck? They asked a quick question. I'm not gonna ignore it. That'd be kind of weird. It's like
Silver comment.
Is lip service.
Did I really hear something about balls?
Balls? No, I don't think so.
Trump. It says it was a fictional event.
Maybe I can find it.
It's like, that, didn't they?
No, some people said they just did the search. I mean, as of this morning, some people said they did the search and it still says it's a fictional event. It didn't actually happen. So yeah, it's not real accurate yet, but we're going to talk about the money side of things, that there soon may not be much of a financial incentive to push AI as hard, which might give some people a reprieve. So before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. You'll get a woohoo if you do.
Woohoo!
This reminds me of NFTs Remember when everything was NFT, NFT this, NFT that?
I hated them. I thought they were stupid, and I told you that multiple times.
And then they just disappeared. Like,
but you see, I told you not to spend your money on that crap.
Well, I didn't buy any NFTs.
No, because I wouldn't let you.
It's like,
because I was like, this is stupid. Don't buy them. Don't buy them.
You didn't want a like a $10,000 picture of a monkey smoking a joint?
No.
Wearing a ball cap?
No.
With a monkey smoking a joint on the ball cap?
Nope.
Okay. So anyway, this is coming from Futurism, and they're quoting the Washington Post. Investors are suddenly getting very concerned that AI isn't making any money. We sense that Wall Street is growing increasingly skeptical.
Well, isn't that sad? The other way they're going to stop AI from completely replacing everything, even if it's wrong, it's giving out incorrect information, it's costing people jobs, is because Wall Street's losing money.
I know, right? It's like, hey guys, yeah, the apocalypse, yeah, it's canceled.
If nothing else proves that it's all about, money. And this does.
Could you see a Terminator movie where Skynet just like suddenly calls it off? It's like, hey guys, corporate called, there's not enough money in this extinction of the human race. So just pack it in. Just come on back. Yep. We're not going to do this.
Ask machine in the Discord.
Canceled. An increasing number of Silicon Valley investors and Wall Street analysts are starting to ring the alarm bells over the countless billions of dollars being invested in AI.
Not because people are getting screwed.
No, not because people are getting screwed.
Money invested.
And overconfidence they warn could result in a bubble. And the Washington Post says investment bankers are singing a dramatically different tune than last year, a period marked by tremendous hype surrounding AI. And that's why everybody, like Adobe, basically destroyed their business chasing AI. Like your business was creating tools for creatives to make stuff, and then you're like, you know what? We'll just make stuff itself. And then we don't need any creatives. I'm like, well, then what the hell why do you even sell Photoshop?
Right, I know, right?
Why do you even sell it? What is the point?
Exactly.
And they've taken a massive hit to their bottom line because of that. They said they're instead starting to become wary of big tech's ability to actually turn the tech into something profitable. Well, how can they when we have a lot of people that are terrified, ignorant, whatever, against AI, and the AI is just like creating stuff kind of like who's going to use it?
A lot of it looks like shit.
A lot of it looks like shit.
You can tell.
I mean, it's going to be used. Like, don't get me wrong, and I'm not completely against the technology, but there definitely needs to be some checks and balances.
Yeah, that's where I am. I mean, I can see it used as a tool. I don't think it should be a replacement.
They said despite the expensive price tag, the technology is nowhere near where it needs to be in order to actually be useful.
They may not say outright. Trust me. What they're trying to, these companies are not going to outright say that they're not going to say outright say we're trying to make this into a tool. They're trying to find a way how we can replace you completely. That's what they're trying to do. They won't say in your face. They won't do it. Because that'll look stupid on their behalf. You don't shoot your foot when you don't have like another foot in insurance. Once that foot is in insurance, then they don't care.
Hey,
what?
You don't say.
Overbuilding things the world doesn't have use for or is not ready for yet typically ends badly. So all the AI can shit out the most ridiculous artwork, the bunch of fingers on what?
I'm sorry, this next paragraph, because Google has, what they have done and what they have done to websites is absolutely shit. I don't understand how other people can do one thing and then they're caught in front of, the Congress and stuff to explain what they did, why they did. But Google can literally decimate.
At Arian, please do not DM him on Instagram. He will no longer be checking his Instagram for art questions, which is why I said DM Ahmad for future instructions if you're a student.
So what I came to realize is that I'm having a brain fart. I just had it in my head. It's not like, okay, the AI thing is not a problem. The issue is that, you know what? Let me hold that on that thought before I say anything.
Thousands of jobs, thousands of websites, all this money, and they never get questioned for it. But they are listed on the, go back to the other article, they're listed here.
Yeah.
Earlier this week, Google releases second quarter earnings, failing to impress investors with razor-thin profit margins and surging costs related to training AI models. Again, decimated the internet so they can keep all the money and have AI like give answers. And, you know, so everybody's making jokes about it because their answers are crap. And it didn't work. Tell all the people who now, you know, their websites fell or collapsed and a lot of people got laid off or fired.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, that I was supposed to say. So, I'm surprised that most of these websites are not suing Google. You know, when you really stop and think about it, I'm surprised most of these websites are not suing Google for this very thing, because it's hard to make a website enough and keep it up. It's another thing when you can't be searched, because if I'm looking up something specific, like how to make, I don't know, what do you call it? Swiss roll Japanese cake, right? And I don't know how to make it, and I just type it in Google, and Google gives me like an AI telling me exactly instead of going to some website they'll teach me. It defeats the purpose of the website, right? Because if everything's just going to go to Google, if I have to look up something and Google's going to answer everything I have to every newslet, from every news, recipe, medical, anything, what is the point of all these websites? What's the point of Wikipedia? What's the point of all of these places if they're just going to be shunned completely from Google? You know what I'm saying? It just defeats all the purpose. I'm surprised that none of these websites has decided to or band together to go after Google, because that's hard enough to get your shit searched. Now, the biggest search platform is not even being a search platform. It's all where you go to just to get your information, whether it be news or whatever case may be. That's wild. It kills virtually every website at that point. Probably, except probably the prawn stuff, but like,
if Google doesn't give me an answer in that box at the top, I'm not doing it.
See, like if they don't give you an answer at the box at the top, people don't go down to the bottom. They don't bother. So it kills those websites almost instantly. This is where game journals are panicking. You know what I'm saying? Because they're already crazy as it is, and then they're ruining their whole situation by themselves. The AI is just there to just push them off the ledge from that point. So, like, it makes no sense.
So Google, historically, most of their money came from partner sites. It came from news sites. It came from niche blogs. And, they would split the revenue, just like YouTube. They split the revenue with the publishers. Well, they basically nuked 2/3 of the websites on the internet. So, and what they're trying to do is drive users to Google's homepage to get these AI snippets. But I don't think users want the AI snippets because they're not reliable and they're stupid a lot of times. And again, they're training their AI with Reddit, so the answers are dodgy. I've looked up stuff and I'm like, what the hell? That doesn't even make sense. But they're not making any money from these websites anymore. I mean, again, in our case, we've talked about before, we actually do run multiple websites. I am not kidding you. Some of our websites are down 90%. 90% because they're not sending traffic to the websites anymore. But just multiply that times all the hundreds of thousands of websites out there they're monetizing. Google used to get 50% of that ad revenue. Now they do not.
They just literally cut off their nose to spite their face.
Yeah, they blew up the internet.
And then they said that capital expenditures are surging far past what the company had been spending previously. As the Wall Street Journal reports, with this year's total spend expected to surpass $49 billion, or 84% higher than what the company averaged over the last 5 years.
Oh my God.
And again, like, they used to get money from the advertising, and they're trying to keep all the money for the advertising, but no one wants to use this shit.
You're getting 100% of less money, basically.
And then you're overspending that.
Yeah.
And what has it got you?
There's no way to rebuild it either. That's the thing, because there's so many of these companies are just shutting down. They're selling off their blogs. They're laying off journalists. You're not going to be able to rebuild the internet. You tossed a hand grenade into the entire internet ecosystem, which worked, and it worked for Google for years, decades. It worked just fine, and they blew it all up to chase short-term profits.
They bring that up down here in a minute, but they said about the CEOs holding to his guns, arguing the risk of underinvesting is dramatically greater than the risk of overinvesting. Dude, you done fucked up. Sorry.
Yeah.
And then they go down here about the significant downsides to investing, and all that. But then they say here that about having a lot of cash to burn, but seeing any returns on that $49 billion would likely prove far more difficult. With the AI market clogged with products that still are mostly free, the tech costs a lot to run, but isn't bringing in much cash. Google is facing similar challenges to Microsoft and Meta, which are committing vast swaths of their available resources to AI without a clear monetization plan.
That's just it. Like, every freaking app now, they're adding AI to it. AI chat. Oh, hey, your banking app, it can generate AI pictures for you too.
What?
Who the hell cares? Would you like an AI generated custom check? Sure. Would you like, I mean, you think you're talking to customer service in the chat?
Official.
You are not. You're talking to a chat bot, literally a chat bot.
Yeah, I hate that. Like, I try to use a bot and get help, and it's like, yeah, you're talking to a robot.
And everything is broken now. Can I reiterate this? Because I've talked about it before. We just ran into this bullshit today with the internet company.
At Kitty God 492, I know I told them to
ever since the pandemic, nothing works right. I think part of it is because we shut everything down and it's hard to get things going again. But I think another part of it is they're over-reliant on AI and technology now to try to cut costs, that stuff's just not getting done right.
Why can't AI buy me
It's just not working right. And it's like, yeah, it's not ready for prime time. It's a good idea on paper, I guess, if you had checks and balances and it actually worked right. But they're like, yeah, it's nowhere near. And the thing is, if it is this expensive to run, eventually they're going to have to start charging you through the nose to use AI. So people are going to become so dependent. Companies are going to become so dependent on AI, and then they're going to have the other shoe drop. Be like, oh yeah, okay, now it's going to cost you like $1 million a month.
That's what they're hoping for.
Yeah, $1 million a month.
For quite some time now, experts have voiced concerns of the growing AI bubble, comparing it to the dot-com crisis in the late 1990s.
Yep. Yeah.
And Wall Street is becoming increasingly skeptical.
Yeah, they're basically like, yeah, this is not gonna. And it was before that it was NFTs, and people can argue the ethics of it or whatever. Ethics aside, like, if it's not actually making money and it's costing more to run it, then what's the freaking point?
Jesus, Sequoia Capital Partner guy said that the entire tech industry would have to generate $600 billion a year to remain viable.
Oh my God.
The speculative frenzies are part of technology, and so they are not something to be afraid of. But AI tech is anything but get rich quick.
Yeah, it's the same with the NFTs, and they're worthless now. Most of them are worthless.
It kind of feels that way. It always felt that way. This whole AI thing felt like it was got a rich quick scheme. Like, it's all of them jump on this as soon as the whole coronavirus came through. It was like every company had this almost instantly. It felt like it was almost staged and planned. If you felt that way. Kind of felt that way, like, just like, I'm not saying it did or they did do this beforehand, but it just kind of felt that way. Like, everyone was on that AI shit almost instantly as soon as the pandemic came through.
It's gonna be a long one. It'll have ups and downs. It'll be worthwhile eventually.
You're not going to make $600 billion in the tech sector when you don't have anybody spending money because there's no jobs, because you just replaced everybody with AI. Like, they do this, and then they don't understand that by doing that, all you're doing is just cutting your customer base too. Like, you can't just keep cutting, you're cutting everybody and replacing them, because if no one has jobs and no one has money, then they can't, buy your product.
Well, here's the thing. Okay, so you've got AI chatbots like ChatGPT, and they're like, oh, ChatGPT replaced journalists, replaced writers on blogs.
It didn't, not well.
Well, even if that were the case, Google is making sure nobody goes to the websites, so it doesn't matter anyway.
True.
So you pay for ChatGPT to write articles on your website to help you write, but they're not sending any traffic to your website. It doesn't matter.
They were like punishing you for doing it.
Yeah, Adobe. Congratulations, guys. Your whole business for decades was creating tools for creatives to use, and now you're just like, oh yeah, well the shit just writes itself.
To the right of this, under the pissed humans category, company abandons plans to give AI workers rights and add them to org chart after outcry from human employees.
Oh my God.
I honestly believe this AI thing should have been left alone to the military, and that's it. It shouldn't have been used for any other business thing other than military. But you know, we humans can't keep things in one particular place. It just tends to fester in other places one way or another, or eventually. So it's like nothing really stays sacred by itself. It eventually gets founded, used, and then it gets overused, and it just becomes a whole problem after the fact.
Timeline. What happened? What happened? I am convinced there was like a vergence during the pandemic, right? And there was a fork in the road.
Because
we had left and right, and we wound up.
I don't think I think it's a human thing. I don't think it's a Western thing. Us as humans, we don't know the concept of too much of a good thing is a bad thing, and too much of a bad thing can still be a bad thing. I think that's our problem. We don't know how to keep things subtle. We just
no. I need AI for my homework.
So, well, see what I'm saying? We don't know why bad things happen to us. 90% of the times, the things that happen to us is because of ourselves.
Up going like down the dark path, and this is not actual reality. This is the worst case scenario. Somehow we wound up in the worst timeline.
I get that reference.
Yeah, but so how much time does the tech industry have to stop bleeding cash? It said OpenAI is going to lose $5 billion this year and run out of cash in the next 12 months, barring further cash injections. So this is how so much of stuff, even blogs, you know, a lot of these blogs and tech companies and FT companies, all this, how they stayed in business. They weren't actually viable businesses.
Well, that was harsh.
They basically just had a bunch of investors pump a bunch of money into them.
The next part explains everything. And
what's harsh is usually true. Like, for instance, I do my artwork. I don't think it's where it's supposed to be. Other people think it's good. I don't think it is. I think it's a piece of shit. It needs to be better. It's not a professional state. It needs to get there. I have more problems with my art than you may seem. It may seem viable to you because you're just not there yet. But once you get there, you're not going to see it as the same as value. So, like, you got to put it that way. You got to put it this way. The thing about art is only considered very good when you can't replicate it. Okay? If you can replicate a circle and a stick figure, you don't see it as art. You just see, like, eh. But when it comes to like a beautiful painting with rendering and this, what do you call it? That's distortion? I forgot what's the word. With good rendering, line art, color, harmony, all that shit, nice composition and all that stuff. You call it art, is amazing, blah blah blah, and then you question it: is it AI? That's just the harsh truth, you know. I think sometimes TikTok has proven that many times when I'm drawing something and I get banned because it's just too good in their standards, but it's not good enough to my standards. So, like, it is what it is. This piece of shit, but they think is a great piece of shit enough to ban me. So, haha.
Early warning sign that smaller companies are already struggling to compete with big tech may be snuffed out before too long. They are going to use it to snuff everybody else out, all the websites, all the little guys, all the, you know, it's like Walmart comes in and you know, destroys mom and pop shops in town and stuffs everything out except for them, and then they take everything. And it's like, it's in their best interest and to just keep doing it just to run everybody else out. Is it right? No. And if it was any other thing, you'd see them, they'd be called up, you know, and they'd be like, yeah, well, you better explain yourself. But for some reason, Google doesn't get called out.
Facebook, well, they had Zuckerberg.
Yeah, they've done that multiple times. They aren't calling Google in to explain why they're doing what they're doing.
You broke the internet, Google.
The thing is, I kind of realized being a genius is scary. Okay, I'm not saying I'm a genius. I'm not saying that anything. I'm just saying the concept of a genius is scary because once you become or considered a genius...
Do I wait till after the stream to go to the Discord ask machine?
You can
just
do that.
Figured ID ask cause I found it, so that's why I'm asking.
No, you can put it in the thing now, and after the stream, my mods will get to you, and then they'll let me know. We have something in plan for subs, so I haven't announced it yet, but we're working on that very thing. I have to talk to them about that later on today, I believe. Anyway, so the thing about the concept of the genius is, like, the scary thing about being a genius. Talk to my mods. They'll help you if you're having issues.
I think young Sheldon proved that.
Yeah, because like if you're a genius, the problem is that once you invent something that will solve a typical problem or a mass problem, you just made a new problem for yourself. So like for instance, like this is why I'm not kind of mad at Google for like doing what they're doing, or the person who made AI enough, or the people who made AI so intrusive enough for all industries to use. It just causes a problem for the human factor. That's what I'm saying. So like it's like what they said about Walmart. When Walmart came in, it kind of killed nearly every mom and pop shop, right? But because they did great business strategies and they used their heads together and stuff like that, it ended up destroying the little guy.
As a genius, your work can be targeted or stolen.
Or
now you're held to higher standards.
Yeah, you're either you're held to higher standards. It could be stolen. It could be this. It could be that, and people are looking for your downfall. 9 times out of 10, I think Elon Musk is constantly on this thing, and I think he's very much aware of it. So it's constantly hard for. And same thing with Zuckerberg, but Zuckerberg is a living, breathing meme to a certain extent. Elon Musk loves memes, so it's hard to meme him, even though you can meme him. Because if you meme him, he might just laugh at it. Zuckerberg, he might short circuit a little bit. I don't know. So like the point is like being a genius is scary, because once you build something, make something that will either change the world for the better, you're also making enemies by default. So no matter what you do, you're always in the crosshairs of someone's. You're someone's supervillain. 9 times out of 10. You're always someone's supervillain in the long run, whether it be your colleagues, people you're competing against, your family, your friends, because they feel inept or they don't feel as up to standards with you, so they look for any bit of your downfall for the slightest. And remember, you don't actually have to be a genius to even feel this. You can be like a successful person in one particular thing that most people can't do, whether it be content creation, you're a doctor, a lawyer, you're this, you're that. Probably a very great cop. I don't know. I'm just saying there are people, whether it's family, friends, colleagues, are looking for your downfall because you're trying to make things better for others.
It's either haters or government that's after you.
Yeah, it's either one of those two. Or both. It could be both. It could be literally both.
Cool. I mean, you basically broke the internet, but it's our fault for giving them too much power. I mean, I think we needed to make sure we had other alternatives, because there's
correct.
About like apparently you can go back to 1998 Google, which would be pretty awesome, right? Because that's how it started. Google was one of many search engines.
Yes, I remember.
There were several.
I was there.
Silver Comet.
Gunther? That's Gunther.
True, some people just want to target you because since they can't be happy, they want you to be unhappy
with them. Yeah, that there are people who deliberately say I'm unhappy, so everyone else have to be happy. Sometimes they have a terrible life, so they'll justify it in their heads to make it more problematic for others.
Beanbag. My persona is cute. You always do a good job, teach.
I wanted to look as cute as possible, but like it's the hair. I don't like the ears, so I'm gonna try and make it as good as possible. I'm trying to capture how I did it before, so I don't want to make it look all blashy. So I'm trying to take my time with this. I'm not trying to rush through it. I hate when I rush through my work, because when I rush through my work, it looks like shit. Now, I don't think looks great in my opinion, because that's just me being critical.
Is your persona also your PFP?
Oh no, that's just the All Might thing. I eventually might change it later on in time, but not right now. I'm just too lazy to do it, but I'll eventually change it. But the little guy that you see, the little ghost thing, that's from Honkai Watch. I never played the game. It was a gift from my rigger, and I named him Gunther. I don't even know what his species is. I know he's some form of ghost, but I didn't really bother to like get to know what his species is. But
Beanbag.
He's a cute little guy. So he's always with me. So everyone's kind of associate Gunther with me after a while. So Gunther, that's his name, Gunther.
And
yes, it is a Adventure Time reference to the name. So for those of you who are Adventure Time fans, you get where I got the name from. So there.
I was asking.
Yeah, this is how you eliminate the competition. And
oh, use XP. Sorry about that.
I think we're gonna have competition, but it's really hard when like so much of the internet is powered by Google and Amazon servers.
Get a time machine.
Yes, but get a time machine.
Go back to 1998.
And yeah,
buy a bunch of Google stock. Anyway.
Yeah, buy a bunch of stock and then be like, yes, I'm from the future and I've seen the future and I want the good ending this time. I want the good timeline. So we're going to change a few things, you know? And, God. Okay, we are wrap this one up.
Yes.
There we go, guys. So you might not have as much to fear from AI if there's anything left. It's just like, it feels like a lot of unnecessary destruction at this point because we're going to wind up with this stuff not working as well as people thought it was going to work. And
Listen. I think AI is going to stay, but I don't think it's going to be as effective as we think it will be. It will replace some jobs.
Since you are a teacher and stuff. Beanbag. It is his logo.
Since it's going to replace some jobs, I don't think every job or anything like that, because we're still at the, I guess, beginning stages, but it is advancing pretty well. I don't think, given how things are going financially for these businesses, I don't think it's going to stay in the sense of it's going to make everything better or replace everything. I think it's going to be a slow burn. It's just going to be constantly in your face. That's what's going to happen. Kind of like Donald Trump. It's like ever since his inception since 2016, or even before that, he was virtually in every news every day, at every second, at every moment, as president and outside president. It's like he's still president. It's like he never left. So like it's like, you know, it's like that. So it's like nothing's changed.
But everything's going to be toast in the interim. So please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.
Alright, so that was the whole AI thing with Clownfish TV. Like, subscribe, share, follow, comment if you guys enjoy this. Please follow them on their channel, and also here if you like my reactions or our conversations about the topics we talk about. So with that said, I'll see you guys next time. And if you like anime and artwork, come and follow and stuff like that. If you want to learn how to draw and stuff, follow me here on Artextric. So with that said, I'll see you guys next one later. Bye-bye. Okay. So apparently, well, I was gonna do this one. I don't know. So this is artwork based on game arts. So in game arts, they're showcasing another artist called Yusuke Moratata. I'm saying it wrong. Let me see what it says so I can. Won't read it to me, you bitch. Yusuke, I think he's the artist who made One Punch Man. Or at least the artist who does One Punch Man in the first season, if I believe. So we're going to see what he says. This is 8 minutes long. If you guys like this, please let me know in the comments if you want to see more reactions to this, or whatever the case may be. I'm trying to do some new stuff here and there when I can. I might do another reactions to something else. Jamie Lee Curtis apologized for trashing. I don't know what that's about, so we'll see about it. So with that said, let's jump onto this.
LOL.
We all know Yusuke Murata is One Punch Man's manga artist. He has not only legendary line art, but he just knows how to create massive, full-colored illustrations, impactful scenes that punch you right in the face, and just crazy awesome moments altogether. With all that said, drawing like Murata in his natural sketchy style will certainly be a gift to our own works of art. However, the question is, how does he do it? Is it the way he draws those big eyes? The way he uses angles, form and body posture? Or is it the pure intensity and energy in his line art that resonates with us the most? If we try to copy him, we can get pretty far, but let's not kid ourselves. That doesn't mean we understand him. So to challenge myself to get a grasp of his art style, I drew this Mega Man Zero art. Nonetheless, one attempt is not enough. So, for this deep dive video, I Murata-fied Majin Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z Hyper Dimension, just to get me experience enough to be able to share what I learned. However, because we want to get to the next level quickly in this artist breakdown video, I attached some Patara earrings on both Murata's Goku and my Majin Vegeta, to show you how to draw the one and only Murata-fied fan art of frickin' Majin Vegeta. Jokes aside, in almost all his art, Yusuke Murata tends to use big eyes and small irises. Also, he prefers that the eyes are drawn as clean as possible, avoiding clutter, and while this definitely increases the intensity, it also depends on what kind of expression he is going for. This aside, in all of them we can see that he likes to use curved, rounded shapes for the angles. One of the effects is that this pushes the eyes outwards, and will give you additional volume without making it too obvious. Furthermore, when he draws eyes, he likes to be very selective on the stress points. You know, the balance between the intensity of the black lines. This is to maintain the focus on the highlights and circumvent losing intensity, so it's best to use thick dark lines sporadically, and be deliberate on where you want the attention to be fixated on first. When we check out the brush, Murata is mainly a traditional artist who uses multiple sizes of ink pens. To simplify, for the face, he generally uses a medium-sized ink brush, for the hair a fine liner, and the clothes a marker. Remember, this is not a rule of thumb by all means, but it gives you a gist of the brush sizes, and how some of his art has this three-part dynamic. Actually, this also creates energy, because he uses this asymmetric concept like a boss. For the beginners that never heard of this concept, it's basically creating a deliberate displacement in your image, and is an effective art compositional technique that I explained already in my other art videos and my art guides. Also, when we look closer at the sketches, he tends to draw hair in one continuous stroke, being very deliberate with his short, quick lines in between. In this case, Dragon Ball Z is the best example to explain this. Akira Toriyama's hair is drawn by using short, sharp angled lines. Murata tends to flow through this whole hair chunk in one setting, adding a stroke or two in between. As a side note, both look great in their own right, and there's no correct way of doing this, and shouldn't be put on a pedestal above another in any way or form. That said, because Goku has light hair in the Super Saiyan form, Murata fades out his lines, whereas in the base form he makes the hair thick and cluttered. Also in this case, he has many examples how to do this effectively in different hairstyles. The easiest way to replicate this line fading technique is with a soft eraser to decrease the intensity. In case for traditional artists, press either lightly with a pen, or even better, use a grey pencil first and draw with black ink on top. Anyways, overall, in his most natural form, Yusuke Murata likes to draw his line art fast and sketchy, quickly filling in the details and not concerning the mistakes that much. And although I'm not planning to quote Bob Ross on this one, but these happy mistakes add to the overall energy. Unless they are really bad. By the way, please don't be discouraged if you can't replicate this line style exactly like him. Remember, he's a master, and his experience in drawing is more than you and me combined.
I tell you something, his art style is so distinct. Just like, majority of most masters have a very distinct art style. It's very rare they ever look ever the same to each other. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but like, there are just some artists who have a very distinct art style that is just that stands out amongst the rest. That's why I always tell my students, like, to tell that and this is something that a lot of students don't like hearing, but if you want to so-called gain that specific art style,
Silver
you need
Comet.
to understand the 8 fundamentals.
Yep, it's nice to see their differences.
Yeah, because like you need to understand the 8 fundamentals. The 8 fundamentals will lead to your so-called art style and your understanding of anatomy, whether it's a monster. When I say anatomy, I'm not even talking about humans. It could be humans, it could be monsters, it could be the anatomy of like weapons, it could be the anatomy of like cars, robots. It doesn't matter, right? It's what your understanding of the fundamentals will lead to wherever you want to be. Now, sometimes an art style can look a little weird, and you can work on it because, like, an art style keeps evolving. It never really stops where it is. It evolves slowly as time goes by, especially if you have a distinct look. So, like, let's use an example, like Kishimoto. When he, I think it's Miyamoto, or Kishi Miyamoto. I think it's Kishi Miyamoto. The guy who started and created Naruto. If you look at Naruto at the very beginning, and then you look at it now, it's completely different. Now, I think there is a new artist who are doing Boruto. I don't think it's Kishi Miyamoto doing it anymore. I don't think so. I'm not totally sure if he's like helping with the art at all, or doing any of the artwork I think he has new people doing it for him now. But before in Naruto and Naruto Shippuden, I'm pretty sure he was doing it. And you can see such a evolution change from base Naruto to Shippuden, right? Same thing with Kubo with Bleach. If you look at Bleach, like Ichigo, his initial design from the very beginning, like from the manga, it was very very serious. It was very not even serious. It was more like very anime. If you think of it this way, like I wouldn't say like Shaman King, but like very I wouldn't say sloppy, but like very.
Just got a bunch of notebooks for sketch and writing, so I'm good.
I got you. It's very it's distinct, but it wasn't refined. Let's put it that way. But when you look at Bleach now, oh my god! Like if you look at the anatomy of what Ichigo looked like at the very beginning of the first manga, and then you look at the current manga from the Blood Year War, you're like, Jesus Christ! The anatomy has literally shot up almost instantly compared to that. So like you can see that like no matter how professional someone is, they're still evolving too, right?
Silver Comet.
You're never ever stop
Bleach
learning.
now is just amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing art style. Like it's just it has a refined look, and that's something that a lot of people. I think what pulls people into Bleach, it's because of the refinedness of Kubo's art style, and how much has changed, but yet it still stay the same. Same thing with Oda. Like if you look at One Piece. One Piece was, if you look at the very beginning of One Piece, it looks very simplistic. The very beginning, and like the first few mangas or so, or a couple mangas, they look very simplistic and to the point. But now it's more detailed, more minute details now. It's very detailed. Like even look at the cover art. There's a drastic difference between One Piece cover art, like volume 1 to whatever volume it is right now. So like Jesus Christ, that's an evolution. So like for anyone who's listening to this, if you are a beginner artist, right, you will never stop learning. Sadly, that's the sad thing about being an artist. You never really stop learning, or you never stop evolving. You might be doing the same thing over and over again, but it'll eventually start evolving, or it will evolve eventually. And it'll never stop till you die. So, like, it is what it is.
Another thing to his style, which I think is typical Murata, is that he tends to keep the faces of his characters tight and clean. Basically, hatching is reserved.
And the reason why I'm saying this is because a lot of you focus so much on the, how do I get my art style? I will be doing a YouTube video on this. I will be doing a literal
Silver Comet.
Dedicated video on this.
Being able to always improve sounds cool, honestly.
It is. It's like, say you're playing like a video game, right? And in the RPG game that you're playing, whether it be a JRPG or RPG game, when you max out the level of your character and you know what abilities they have or they can do, you kind of wish they can keep getting stronger, right? It's kind of like that. That's why I think shows like Dragon Ball is still popular.
Silver
because
Comet.
it.
Okay, I will look out for that.
It feeds into the idea of always improving, and this is why I think a lot of kids, young people today, relate so much to Dragon Ball compared to like DC heroes, because something like Superman, I'm not saying Superman is a bad character or anything. I understand the concept of Superman, right? But like the concept of Goku is about improvement. The idea of
Ryaga
like
Samurai. But the level cap is infinite.
Yeah, the level cap is infinite. It's like that. So like you never get bored, right? It's like if you had superpowers, you want them to keep growing and growing and growing and growing and growing, and you want more, worthy opponents, right? It's kind of like that. That's just a human nature of wanting to be better. You know what I'm saying? That's not evil. You know what I'm saying? So I'm always going to tell you guys, you're never going to get the art style you have because you'll never be perfect enough for that art style. It'll be perfect enough
Silver
for people
Comet.
who don't draw.
Gotta work on your quirk.
Yeah, there you go. You gotta work on that quirk. Let's go.
To everything around it. as he loves to fade his lines quite often to make your imagination fill in the rest. This ultimately adds to the three-dimensional perspective, where clothes, hair and gesture jumps off the page. By the way, have you noticed? He uses very light pressure to add in volume to make the dimensions even stronger. And he needs to, as an action illustrator. This man understands anatomy and proportions like a bomb and wants us to be right there in the battle. Like all manga artists, Murata knows how to effectively draw in your gaze. In character portraits, it's mostly the eyes first.
He's the only mangaka artist I've seen who draw women with narrow faces and don't look ugly to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's weird. Like, when I see his artwork and I see him draw women, they never look ugly to me having a narrow face. They can give the narrow face both to men and women, and they don't look ugly. I don't like drawing anime girls with narrow faces because they always look kind of mannish to me. But he's the only one who draws them with a more narrower face, but they don't look manly. They look very feminine. That's amazing.
I eat glass.
And he doesn't really change the eyes too much.
Am I the only one who's loving his accent? Ryaga Samurai.
I'm glad you're enjoying it. Yeah, like if you look closely, if you look closely at his art,
oh dang, you're right.
If you look closely at his art, all of them have narrow faces.
Be a support hero today.
So let's go back a little bit.
By using commands like support.
Like, they're all the same narrow type head type, right? And the eyes are really not that different all the time. They're pretty the same type of eyes.
Gaze. In character portraits, it's
the only person who probably has a round face is probably One Punch Man, but that's for comedic effect 9 times out of 10.
See the eyes first, face second.
And I'm not saying he doesn't draw characters who have different faces. It's just the go-to face he makes is the narrow face type head shape. Like here with what's his name? Guro? I think it's Guro, and I forgot what's her name. The sister of Tornado. I think she's their sister.
And to show its importance,
they're very narrow most cases, not all the time, but they're pretty narrow half the time.
There's an intensity comparison if we wouldn't be deliberate on this concept. See how easy it is to look at this original art compared to the overexposed version? This is what you want. Also, he tends to use subtle corners and angles. This makes his character's expressions show more liveliness and be more approachable overall. In my eyes, his biggest strength is that he knows how to put characters into the right frame. Their gestures
now, as for this is different because
amazing.
Now the faces are not his typical faces, right? Like Princess Peach, and then you have Bowser, and then I think that's Mario with the M. There's Mario. It looks different compared to his usual works because they're much more rounded. He doesn't really do a lot of rounded. He does a lot of sharp, narrow drawings.
To elaborate on this, the way he draws Mega Man is like how we love to see this guy. The way he draws Goku is, I dare to say it, maybe even cooler than Toriyama himself.
Look at, as you can see, like for Akira Toriyama, when you go to the cheek is much more rounded and flat, and then it just rounds back. With his, it's rounding but much more straighter, with a little bit of a square at the bottom, and then you go right back up. It's interesting nonetheless. This is why art styles are so amazing, because you can draw the same character. You know who that character is, and it still looks different. That's what makes art styles so amazing. This is why I hate AI. Because it can probably do that, and that's the annoying part, because that makes everyone distinct from each other. It's how you look at life and how you look at things. That's what makes drawing so much amazing, especially when you do anime artwork.
Opinions aside, this is because he knows how to show the strengths of the characters. He can switch easily between styles and facial expressions. From comic relief to tough, thrilling scenes with heavy action. But they all are Murata. I don't know about you, but this sketch of Nappa and Vegeta is very powerful. And I'll ask you right off the bat, could you have come up with this scene?
Nope.
In my eyes, this is also his style, and is actually a thing that is a huge part of his personal talent. The main point I want to make is, cool composition shots like this, to make something intriguing and immersive, is not learnable. You, me and him, all have our own unique mental image of a scene. Give this blue bomber to different artists, and Mega Man's designs transforms into totally different gestures and expressions. If we look purely at the style fundamentals, Murata uses universal concepts like a legend. However, the way he moves his hand, chooses how to express characters, and his deliberate way of placing lines will of course always be unique to him and very hard to replicate. As a comparison, I draw like this, which also uses fast lines, but in a way different curvature and motion. And I'm glad that I have my own way of drawing, because it feels way more relaxing. Attempting to draw like him feels unnatural for me. And that's why I used Vegito's profile picture from Dragon Ball Z Hyperdimension as a reference image. You know, this awesome old classic on the SNES. Because that's the thing, we all want to draw our own art, like a signature of our creativity and not that of someone else. Who knows, maybe you saw some key elements I missed, and can now go all you got me light in the comment section. Anyways, my 2 cents are, just keep his fundamentals in mind, and see what you can implement into your own art style. So what about it? Do you want to Muratify your own art? I'm Light of Artexrtic, and Yusuke Murata is one of those masterful artists who has this fast, playful art style, who just knows how to make things look awesome, which I think is an innate talent that needs to be unlocked in each and every one of us. And you heard that right. It's not a learnable skill, but knowing how style works helps a ton.
Alright, so that was game arts. This is how we draw like Yusuke Murata. I think I'm saying it right this time. And that's how it goes. Ooh, there's another one here. Tetsuya Nomura. I'm familiar with his work. I actually do like his work very much so with the Kingdom Hearts series. I think he even worked on most of the Final Fantasy stuff, and then The World End Was You. I always found his stuff pretty good. So before I get into that, like, subscribe, share, follow, and comment. I hope you guys enjoyed this and all that great stuff. Also follow Game Arts. We're going to do another video of Game Arts after this. Well, right here. So with that said, I'll see you guys in the next one. Alright, so here it says, a deep dive into Tetsuya Nomura's art style. Character design, breakdown, and analysis. For those who are listening to this and wants to hear this, I'm going to give your 2 cents, or in case maybe you can come over here on YouTube and listen to the stream as we talk about anime art stuff and probably some other reactions to other things. So we'll see. So with that said, let's jump into it.
Tetsuya Nomura is a Square Enix character designer, best known for his work on Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts. We all know that he is the man behind the Goku of RPGs, Cloud. But what about his art style? Well, we can't deny that his belts, chains and weird stuff makes him exceptional. His style can definitely be seen in his facial features, the dynamic hair, and his character proportions. In my eyes, however, his main talent is by far in his storytelling with none other than his character designs. When we analyze and break down Tetsuya Nomura's art style on each and every aspect, there's one thing that always returns, and that is the catchlight in the eyes. Despite Nomura undergoing various stylistic changes over the years, these catchlights remain his signature trope, situated to the side of the iris, just above the center. That said, overall, the eyes are drawn with gentle strokes, using soft curves, medium-sized irises and pupils. When we focus on the details, Nomura prefers emphasizing both the upper and lower eyelid creases. Additionally, he tends to depict short eyelashes for both genders. Depending on game project, he sporadically adds tear ducts and relatively short eyebrows. For the nose, Nomura typically renders them quite large and straightforward, with soft curved indents depending on the characters. When examining the mouth, it becomes evident that Nomura favors emphasizing the lips, especially adding volume for female characters. Moreover, he incorporates somewhat zigzag arcs into his expression. Nomura tends to draw the chin and cheeks curved and soft, making most of his characters appear quite gentle. And it goes without saying that all these subtle facial features depends on the specific art style direction of the projects he worked on. So to elaborate a bit for the ones who are less familiar with Nomura, in his 30-year video game art career, he changed from the early 90s anime and manga style, as seen in Final Fantasy, to a more realistic style entering the millennium. Soon after, he worked on Kingdom Hearts in collaboration with Disney. implanting many of the soft facial features noted earlier. In between the different main series, he of course did side projects and spin-off titles as well. In other words, Nomura had the freedom to experiment and push a huge range of styles from typical anime.
I'm not gonna lie, Tetsuya Nomura's art style always kind of intrigued me all the years of knowing his work. I didn't know exactly who he was, but I know his art style was very distinctive and was always associated with Kingdom Hearts majority of the time. And I think that what really dragged me into Kingdom Hearts when I first saw it as a kid back in 2002. Like, it's funny now, looking back at it back in 2002, on how much his work has, like, influenced me to want to draw. Very much so. Because his art style was just so different from all the rest when it came to, like, RPGs.
And manga, to realism, and even chibi. By the way, have you ever noticed that his character proportions contain insane long legs and relatively small torsos? And just as another observation, his throats and limbs are sometimes exaggerated in relation to each other, reaching levels that can be a bit freaky. So, when we objectively look at Nomura's overall art style and design choices, we have to address how he draws the hair. And I can't emphasize enough that this hair design and style is what makes his characters memorable. Like I mentioned before, Cloud is the Goku of RPGs because of his iconic spiky hair. It's so exaggerated that he probably hides his Buster Sword in it.
Murata art is just good.
In all seriousness,
I wonder if they
he's
cover
the most
Soul Eater made
recognized
by
Final Fantasy
Atsushi
character
Okubo.
because of it.
I gotta go now.
Frankly speaking,
Alright,
if you're
do your
aiming
thing.
to master the art of
Bye
drawing
everyone.
hair, strategically place shadows, all contributing to a soft, dynamic visual appeal. As for his art tools, Nomura favors the traditional approach, using black ink and mechanical pens to
See,
create
so what I tell you, no matter how much I might like digital art, there's something just about traditional art that always wins. I will always say to my students, if they always ask me the question, would you prefer digital art or traditional art? I will always go with the traditional art. Something about just a piece of paper and a pencil or pen or mechanical pencil, pretty much the same thing, is just something about it is just so much more
Silver comment.
earthly and human about it.
Being hands-on feels right to me.
Yeah, it just feels hands-on stuff is so much better. It's like I don't have to worry about stupid settings. I don't have to worry about someone asking what brush I'm using. I don't have to worry about any of that stuff. Or that's not even a worry, but it's just like something that doesn't come up, right? And I don't worry about if the setting's right, if the thing's charged, any of that stupid stuff. It's just me and a pizza pencil, and that's it. And then whatever comes out, comes out. And I don't worry about if there's jitter, if there's like some type of glitch that's happening. I don't have to worry about no stupid layers. You know what I'm saying? It's just a traditional and more human way to look at things and just approach it.
Sketches.
I eat glass .789.
Nobuo Matsu's philosophy
you feel the pencil
that
hitting
it is
the
enough
paper
to
and you
compose
feel
the
alive.
melody at the minimum.
Yeah, because it's funny because I've been doing digital art for a while, for a pretty long time now, and I'm used to drawing with the stylus, and I don't feel that grip. I have to like, I don't want to say word imagine, but I have to like desensitize myself knowing that I won't get grip, so I have to be more subtle when I'm making my strokes to a certain extent, if that makes sense. But like something about a pencil, like a traditional pencil, and knowing that the strokes that you're making feels real. It doesn't feel, I won't say the word I won't say too much like
Silver
fake or
Comet.
synthetic, but like
exactly glass.
Yeah, it's like you're literally rubbing on glass at this point, but like I'm so used to it, it's not like a problem for me. When I first started, it felt very weird because it's not something I was traditionally like used to. But after a good month or two, I got used to it pretty fast. So it is what. Hey, alternate, what's going on?
Equipment. And to translate it, after scanning in his works, he employs digital coloring. Also, he noted that in the final phases of the illustration, he refines the line art, making it thicker to maintain creative control, and then sent it
Silver
to the art
Comet.
team to finalize the commercial
You rub
appeal.
glass, are you okay?
And personally, I think it's neat that many Japanese artists still prefer traditional art over digital art. So when we zoom into Tetsuya Nomura's concept art and check out his color style, he experimented with quite an array of palettes, hues and tones. He went for medium color saturation in Final Fantasy VII. For this, he used color pencils to emphasize the form by using soft and hard edges
i.e.
for shadows to create contrast and depth.
LOL
This
no.
happens to be my personal favorite art style in his repertoire. In all fairness, part of that preference stems from nostalgia as a 90s kid. In case for Kingdom Hearts, he went with many different approaches. Vibrant colors reminiscent of Disney's signature style. Soft watercolors that gracefully flow off the paper. And an overall preference for low saturated images. And damn, I love these gentle hues, tones and colors. Technically, I can go on for a while, because he did many projects that pushed him to become a versatile artist. That's by the way one of the things pros do to really get a grasp into developing their art. They play around with a range of color combinations that fit their line art. All that said, what about his character designs? First off, in an interview he said that his favorite characters are Cloud, Sora, Noctis and Kairi. And his reason? He added that he likes to design in a one-shot. So the first design drawn is the base of the final.
I've seen. Yes, I have.
Character design. However, these four were tough and took multiple attempts to get right, challenging his talent, so to say. And therefore he concluded that he was way more invested into them compared to the rest. Okay, we all know he's good, but what makes him extraordinary?
Crimzen.
For instance, he knows
It's
how to make
crazy
characters
TBH.
in their specific setting, creating
I'm
great
pretty sure it
archetypes
is.
for each personality. Anyone who looks at his characters has an idea what he or she is about. And again, he is that good that he can blend his characters into other universes like Disney.
Damn, Goofy.
Therefore, it might come to no
Damn.
surprise that he has been asked as
Yo,
a
they
guest
drew-
like Disney.
Goofy, bro. They pushed his neck so back. What is going on with his neck? I think there's a bit of an error there. Like, everything else is fine, but his neck is way too far back. I would have pushed it a little more further out. That neck is not making sense with that sweater. As you can see, like, his head is clipping through the sweater. Look, it would hurt. I would fix that. I would lift the neck a little bit and push it more to the side.
LOL.
His neck is fucked. I'm not laughing at the artist. It's just I just pointed that out. It's just like Jesus Christ.
Therefore, it might come to no surprise that he has been asked as a guest character designer for many projects. In short, he's such a pro that multiple development teams granted him a lot of freedom during the projects. Okay, now for a breakdown why I think Tetsuya Nomura is one of the best character designers in the industry. We all know that characters have a synergy with each other, each playing their role in the story. However, Nomura is very deliberate on how each character looks compared to another. Zack, Cloud and Sephiroth share many commonalities not only in the story, but visuals as well. Both Cloud and Zack are very similar in age, clothes and punky hairstyle, but that of Zack's falls to his rear and is dark compared to Cloud's forward punky blonde. They are distinct for sure, but anyone can tell that these guys are connected in some way, in this case friendship. Would anyone of these characters fit the same visual cue instead of Zack? I think we all can conclude that Zack was the right choice, that's for sure. And in tropes of story, a great villain should be relatable by being somewhat similar to the main character, yet different. Sephiroth has long silver grey hair, which falls straight downwards, with his age slightly older than the boys. Also, he loves leather way more than the other two. Sephiroth thinks he's an ancient, and when we put Aerith next to him, we can see the green eyes, long hair and bangs. And if we add Tifa in the mix, we have two girls who are different in outfit and personality, a perfect choice for the player to choose their date with. And now look at Barret and Red. They are just a freaking awesome combo. To put a more serious tone on it, this Final Fantasy VII Rebirth poster drawn by Nomura. Okay, what the fuck? I sure hope that isn't Aerith. Anyways, this CGI image composed by Tetsuya Nomura also shows how excellent the boys-their connectivity is. Disclaimer before I get called out. My current analysis is a first impression pre-launch. Zack looks positively at the blue bright skies of the future, while Cloud wants to fix the green Mako poisoning that haunts him from the past. In the meantime, Sephiroth plans to drop a meteor on the world.
I'm sorry, I don't mind him giving his commentary, but that talking like as if the next episode,
oh my goodness,
the next episode of Dragon Ball Z comes, it just kind of gets kind of cringe and annoying a little bit, but it is what it is. I know he's just doing his thing.
Scorching everything with his fiery red menace. Despite the trio's New Year's resolutions, I think the composition Nomura chose for these three characters is brilliant. When we check Final Fantasy VIII, Squall and Cypher, I think we all can see the contrast between their arch-rival character designs. Also, if we look at Sora, Kairi and Riku, these three also have a great connectivity in character design, different yet familiar. There is no surprise that when we look at the roster of characters Nomura was mainly responsible for, that you can see so many of the character tropes coming back. Although some characters might bear a striking resemblance, he still manages to infuse each with a unique touch. It's like he's practicing the Akira Toriyama theory of broader universes, where every character feels like a long-lost sibling in another IP. In case of Tetsuya Nomura's clothes design, he gets inspired by Japanese street fashion and magazines. Maybe this is somewhat of a love it or hate it thing, but I'm a bit in the middle. He has an eye for cool designs, however he goes seriously too far on repeating accessories to be honest. But in my opinion, Final Fantasy XIV artists show how it should be done in this regard, with more deliberate intent and yet another zipper. He actually introduced some of the more iconic enemies like Gilgamesh, the Tomberry and of course, the most epic final battle of Final Fantasy VI. In short, he's crazy good at it. Despite so, the fact remains Nomura is known for his genius character designs, his obscure belt locations, his fetish for chains, and his overarching main story concepts, especially Kingdom Hearts 3.
Am I right?
You can't sit there and say, try to talk in this epic voice and saying his fetish for chains. You're just gonna like, bro, what?
I'm fancy light novel author GP Vugs, and Nomura is a great inspiration to learn from. Much like many other kiddos from the 90s, I found myself drawing Cloud the most. In my eyes, Nomura's works hold a similar level of accessibility in art as Akira Toriyama.
Okay. That's Nomura.
Crimzen. Bro is AD1 yapper loudly crying face.
Okay, let me see. So the next one.
Akiko Yoshida.
Okay, so we have this one from Akiko Yoshida. I think I said that right. Akiko Yoshida is the artist who laid the groundwork of. Yeah, I always found his work kind of different from the rest as alongside Nomura, but because his art style really focused on simplicity alongside complexity of painting. It's like if he draws the character in a like line art way, it's really simplistic. But when he does the painting, it feels very different. Like it's like combining both complexity and simplicity at the same time. Simplicity with the line art, no crazy details. But when it comes to the painting, it makes up for the simplicity of the line art. It's very different. And he makes sure to make all his characters have little to no nose, or the eyes are usually spaced pretty far from each other, and the mouths are usually far away from the nose. It's really, really, really different. It has a distinct look.
Is the artist.
Oh, so this is Game Arts again, and we're doing an art video on the hidden and misunderstood of Akiko Yoshida. You've probably seen his work in like a few anime, well not anime, like Final Fantasy, and I think he did Octo Traveler if I'm correct, and a few other anime art, game art, and other JRPGs.
Laid the groundwork of the painted stylized game art of the Final Fantasy series. Without a doubt, Yoshida has left his mark on numerous other beloved IPs such as Bravely Default, Vagrant Story, and the cult classic Nier games. But how do we spot his signature art style when he's always evolving?
Silver Comet.
Let's face it.
Probably,
Yoshida's
but I'm looking for his name to write down.
And yes, his style has been mistaken by many artists for other artists. One thing's for sure though. Akiko Yoshida's depiction of sexy girls always hits the mark in my book. When we break down and analyze Akiko Yoshida's
I wonder
art
if they
style,
have a Soul Calibur
there
video.
are some recurring tropes in his character
might have
art
one,
that
we'll
not
see.
only define his unique aesthetic, but also serve as a testament to his unparalleled creativity. Before we dive into this, let's acknowledge one of Yoshida's main strengths: his ability to seamlessly switch between styles. In any fantasy setting he tackles, he still manages to make the characters seem alive. During an interview, Yoshida said he likes to mix things up, experiment and explore style with every new IP he's working on. Despite this, companies often hire him for what has become known as the Akihiko style. And to quote him on this, "In order to be different from others, you need to increase the number of artworks and styles that you look at, and try to find something special that no one else has ever found." And while I couldn't agree more, in this regard he reminds me of another Final Fantasy artist, Yoshitaka Amano. That said, the biggest takeaway of Akiko Yoshida's character art are the eyes.
Just doing some,
no matter the realism level, they are very recognizable and striking.
Right now on YouTube, so.
When we zoom in, characters often appear very gentle. This is because he emphasizes the upper eyelids with a thick curving line. This technique also adds the effect of expressing whimpers. Another aspect is his tendency to draw the irises rather large, contributing further to the soft appearance of his characters. Moreover, the lower part of the eyelids and tear ducts are seldom present. Lastly, thin eyebrow shapes are a pervading preference in his designs overall. When we look at the face, in my eyes, Yoshida tends to soften the cheeks. Fair enough, this does not count for all characters and IPs, but he has his own way of curving them, slightly chubby, reminding me of an onion. Okay, that was a lame reference, but let me put it this way. When I examine his character art style, the eyes and cheeks are the first features that stand out to me. As for other features, such as the nose, their presence varies depending on the game art style Yoshida is working on. For instance, in games like Final Fantasy Tactics and Bravely Default. Noses may not even be present, whereas in more realistic styles like in Final Fantasy 12 and 14, they are. Do note, it also depends on the distance how much detail of the nose he reveals. In case of the mouth, it also depends on the realism level. As far as I can tell, there's no one way that suits all his works. However, this neutral expression is very common in Yoshida's concept art, where he draws the mouth tiny and the eyes with the spaced out gaze, thinking about the meaning of life. When we check the hair, well, he does all kinds of hairstyles. However, most of the time he tends to favor realism. In simple terms, he draws the hair without anti-gravity physics in the majority of his characters. Okay, except for Ashley Riot, but in all honesty, he's so awesome it just suits him. It might be me, but one thing I notice in most of Yoshida's works is that he's really into legs, or at least find them very important. He tends to draw large thighs with strong leg calves. Furthermore, the legs are often depicted as long in proportion to the upper body. Also, more often than not, they are clearly visible. Especially the women are drawn in a cute and attractive way. In this regard, given Yoshida's talents, the art director's decision during the character development of Agnes to portray a sexy girl was definitely the right one. And believe it or not, he's quite gentle with the cup size of the females. Yes, this is a thing I noticed while looking through his art.
Yeah, he doesn't.
He never goes.
He doesn't go beyond. He doesn't go beyond the man of culture of size, huh? He never does. Oh, I'm sorry. I hope things will get good, or at least eventually get better, or at least something good you could share. But he never goes beyond the cup size. I think he just stays on a B cups. I think when it comes drawing his females, he doesn't go like crazy big.
For the typical anime size. You know the one.
Ryaga Samurai.
To put it in another
LOL.
way, he keeps him in balance with the body proportion. Maybe that's also why the legs are more emphasized. But I don't know, I'll leave the details to your imagination.
Oh,
Anyways,
he's a
if you
thigh
think I'm
man. Okay, let's
exaggerating on
go. Nothing wrong with that. He goes with legs. Let's go. Let's get them legs. Let's get them legs. Man of culture now. Okay, he's a thigh dude. Okay, nothing wrong with that.
Points, Akiko Yoshida said in
Okay, Bri, Bianca wants you. She's on TikTok. She misses you.
an interview, when I get stuck with character design, I start with the buttocks and go from there. You heard that right. He noted that he doesn't know how this specific creative process works, but he added that his mind starts to flow from the backside of the character.
Let's go!
Like you've noticed, he
Ryaga
uses a lot
Samurai.
of different media. No
I
question
rock
about
with
that.
it.
However, he does tend to favor the painted style. Be it through
Let's
media
go.
like oil paint or
Silver
wet wash,
Comet.
watercolor, and even
He's a fan of
digital
thighs.
art.
He's my
No matter
friend
what
now.
kind of media he
He's a
uses,
good man.
for most of his IPs, he
Hi,
creates some
Bianca.
sort of painted promotional illustration.
She's on
For these
TikTok. You gotta
types
go
of
talk to her.
works,
She can't
he
hear you
uses
from here.
soft brush strokes combined with low saturated colors. And like most painters, Yoshida is excellent at contrast. In an interview he mentioned that all painters like Rembrandt, Millet, and of course manga legends like Katsuhiro Otomo inspired his style. To simplify, Akiko Yoshida has three main art styles: chibi, semi-realism,
Ryaga Samurai.
and his very personal
Okay.
stylistic art. Without a doubt, all of them contain his aesthetic, and aside from the tropes I already mentioned, to really clarify the aspects what makes him, him, we first need to look at his concept art. Yoshida's line art is sketchy, and employs hatching techniques to not only create volume and shape, but also to add shape and direction. He strategically maintains space between the strokes, a technique evident in his painting works as well. Also, his concept art of Bravely Default revealed that he was involved in story and scenery panels. And he's good at it, because fun fact, he started out as a background artist in games. And why is this important? Well, technically he's a character designer. Promotional art and scenery art are not always included, but when Yoshida does add them, he shows the full extent of his artistic talent.
Very good.
He excels at setting the scene for characters and bringing them to life. If you ask me, Yoshida thrives in war settings, and it's no wonder tactical RPG game director Yasumi Matsuno asked him to join the club. And to add a small shoutout on top, Yoshida also worked on a lot of projects with the genius composer Hitoshi Sakimoto, who did many of the excellent music scores. The art, the setting and music go hand in hand if you ask me. But enough about personal opinion. My question to you is, which one of these are drawn by Akihiko Yoshida? Well, none of them are. These were drawn by Naoki Ikushima, the artist of Octopath Traveler and Triangle Strategy. And while the artist could fool anyone to draw like Yoshida's chibi style, again, one of the biggest reviews is how Yoshida does the hatching. One important thing though, as I mentioned in the beginning, there are many artist illustrations that are mistaken to be Yoshida's, like this one from Yusuke Mogi, or this one from Kazuya Takahashi, and even this one from Tsubasa Masao. This is because Yoshida was one of the pioneers to popularize such a realistic painted manga style into mainstream games. However, just for fun, let's turn up another notch. Which of these Final Fantasy Tactics art pieces are from Akihiko Yoshida? It's this one. Yoshida was the character art supervisor of Roji Ohara, who did Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. They both did promotional illustrations of the Tactics event. One of the biggest differences between them is how they draw the eyes. In case of Ohara, he likes to add catchlights in the center of the pupil. Additionally, Yoshida often depicts characters from the rear, a less common angle in character art. That said, he really loves to emphasize the pose, be it cute, gentle or strong. The silhouettes are always interesting and smooth in some way. He has an eye for composition, making each character important, but still keeping the focal point to the center. Besides that, Yoshida initially worked on cutesy characters, but when objectively discussing character designs, it's evident that he has a knack for more mature characters. Even in games like Bravely Default, his non-chibi style looks great. However, when we
it was
focus
Brave
solely on
Default,
character
my
design-
bad. It was Brave Default, not not Octo Traveler, my bad.
I don't find them particularly outstanding in terms of being visually striking or memorable. Okay, except for the main characters of Nier and Vagrant Story. And while I do agree that Ramza and maybe Anjis are memorable as well, I just think Tetsuya Nomura and Amano's designs hit the mark more often, if you know what I mean. Okay, I might sound negative, but that's not the point I want to make. What I think Akihiko Yoshida does exceptionally well is that he knows how to make distinctive characters. Show their personality without screaming the typical stereotype. What I mean is, the OG Bravely Default gang visually tell their personality without being that obvious. Also, the Final Fantasy XII characters are a bunch of interesting individuals of different ages and backgrounds. Akihiko Yoshida puts a lot of care in designing character costumes, which is understandable considering many of the games he works on involve a job system. While the clothing designs are often simplistic, they suit the setting perfectly. In some cases he even went over the top, getting inspired by mountain gear combined with knight armors. Speaking of Final Fantasy XII, he wanted to design unique gear that had never been seen before in any culture. I believe Yoshida did some monster art, well, chocobos don't count, and in a Vagrant Story developer interview he said he wasn't a reader of sword and sorcery fantasy novels, thus he just went with the flow by designing creatures in his own way. With all that said, to quote him, "Just because you're a video game designer, that doesn't mean you only should look at video game art. Therefore, I used to look at other artworks and paintings with great attention. This makes perfect sense to me, as many game artists that I already covered mention that they get inspired from classical painters, manga, anime, Western comics, and even movies. I'm light novel author GP Folks, and the first time my brother borrowed Vegan Story from a friend, the cover art was mesmerizing.
Silver Comet.
Later on, I began to recognize Yoshida's
cool.
work more and more, and I fell in love with it.
Very much so.
In my eyes, he's underrated, because most of the projects he has worked on are not mainstream.
Now this is from Akio Yoshida. Thank you, Game Arts, for giving your opinion and your analytical eye on everything he's done. This is awesome. Like, subscribe, share, or comment. Also follow Game Arts if you want to. I'll always tag them in the bottom and put their video in the description if you want to see this video again or you just want to check out their channel. So that said, like, subscribe, share, follow, comment. I'll guys see you guys in the next one, and thank you. All right. What was the artist you wanted me to check? Someone mentioned some artist you wanted me to check if he tried talked about him. Let's see here. Okay, doesn't look too bad. Okay. Someone said something. I guess he left. Let me see. I'll do one more reaction. I don't know if my
Silver Comet. Well, I wanted you to look at the World Trigger author.
World Trigger.
Ryaga Samurai. Talking about what I said earlier.
Okay, I don't think there's a video on that talking about art specifically, but we can watch this quick video. It's 10 minutes long. It was from 11 months ago. It says Trigger Shonen
Silver Comet.
Power System.
Daisuke Ashihara.
Let me see. Let's see here. I think he's focusing too much on game art. But let me see. Hey, Raijin, what's going on?
Silver Comet. Amen.
Let me see. This is in a different language. Yep. So we'll just do this power system one. I don't see any problem with that. Let's see.
Power.
So this is from Kaiser Shonen, if I said that right. Kaiser Shonen, and he's talking about the Shonen's peak peak power system, World Trigger Analyst. So let's see what this is about.
Ki, Ryatsu, Chakra, Nen, Magic, Fire, apparently. In the end, they all mean the same thing. Power. In Battle Shonen, power is known by different names and comes in many forms. They act as fuels for epic battles, tapestry to paint the stakes, and instruments of every character's very will. In essence, most action shows tend to utilize supernatural abilities. Much like other narrative elements, power systems are tools, whether they be fast and loose like Fairy Tail's magic, or complex like cursed energy. And these tools live and die by their rules, how they are followed, and how they are used. Some shows die, and others just know how to thrive. Let's get it on. World Trigger has gotten a bit more popular nowadays thanks to its second and third season, but it's still lesser known in the West than others in its genre. and I blame every single one. Seriously though, this show is fun and engaging, and I cannot recommend it enough. The premise of the show is pretty simple. Basically, aliens from other dimensions, yes, aliens, keep up, called neighbors occasionally attack our world, particularly a cozy spot in Japan called Mikado City. The counterforce of this threat are our protagonists, who are soldiers for the organization called Border, a defense guard for the Earth that the neighbors have to pay for. Just as God intended.
Didn't you already make that joke in my video? I'm the captain now.
World Trigger's a simple story, but make no mistake, this show is big ballin'. On top of having a mostly decent plot structure and endearing characters, the best aspect of World Trigger has to be its power system. Trigger.
Brother, this guy stinks!
Yes, I know, clever, but it gets better, I promise. Triggers are essentially alien weapons the characters use to fight back against the neighbors, powered by an energy source called Tryon. Triggers can be anything from guns, swords, cubes, and whatever else. To use these weapons, the characters undergo a transformation where they recreate their bodies made out of Tryon, while their real bodies are in an Animorph-style pocket dimension. If you know, you know. The most interesting aspect of World Trigger's power system is that what the characters are using aren't treated completely like superpowers. In fact, they're kind of treated like a mystical sword in the stone and more like a loadout in an FPS game. Everyone on Border has mostly the same access to the same tools. You can be a sniper, a gunner, or you study the blade. Anyone can fit any role potentially, but they're determined by two things other than general physicality, but that's a different subject. Those two being Tryon amount and fighting preference. Tryon amount is a bit less self-explanatory. See, Tryon levels don't just determine how powerful your weapons end up being, but also how many Tryon weapons you can equip yourself with. The lower the amount of Tryon you have, the fewer weapons you can get, given how a good chunk of your Tryon needs to maintain your energy body. So the best thing to do is pick a loadout that best fits how you consume energy. Any of the roles I mentioned before are common, but when you see a character with all this stuff in mind, it tells you exactly what kind of fighter they are. For example, take our main character Osamu Mikumo. Osamu, even to this day, is the weakest character in the whole show on his own. No one, and I mean no one, other than actual trainee jobbers, is weaker than this man. This guy is fresh off the boat with the lowest Tryon level in the series. So what's his loadout? His main weapon is the Ray Gust, a melee weapon with the highest level of defense among Border triggers, even compared to barriers. Melee triggers don't suck up a lot of Tryon in general, which with the added defense keeps him in fights a bit longer. He equips it with the Thruster optional trigger for surprise attacks, pinning maneuvers, or to get out of dodge. He distracts or makes strategic pot shots with the Asteroid triggers. Asteroid's got the most base attack power out of any cube triggers in Border, but it's usually easy to dodge. However, it's still a reliable distraction that keeps his hand free and strikes true without him needing to be a good shot like gunners. And he can even delay them for traps. Lastly are the wires he starts using in Season 2, which can not only trip up enemies, but also work in tandem with his teammates and act as markers for enemy locations, all while not draining much Tryon. So TLDR, Osamu is nowhere near a heavy hitter, or much of a hitter at all. He lacks physical agility or talent for combat, and is usually kept in the background while he makes his plays. His setup is frugal, but practical. And this makes scenes where he gets to pop off even more hype because he earns those wins every step of the way, even when he gets help from his much more powerful teammates. You might be wondering though, why is he so weak? Is it possible to even get stronger in World Trigger? I mean, this thing's been going on for 3 seasons and some change, right? Yesn't. See, power progression in World Trigger isn't exactly linear. Pumping your muscles a bunch of times don't equal making bigger ki blasts or whatever. For the most part, once you are born with a certain Tryon level, you don't exactly leave that level for a very, very long time. You can get better, but the stat upgrades will be incredibly minor. Even some of the highest ranked agents in Border can have relatively average Tryon levels. Plus, in this show, no matter how strong you are, one good hit to your Tryon body and you're toast anyway. Meaning the only aspect that matters is skill and strategy. Ai Kitora is a great example of this. She's one of the first agents Osamu meets at the start of the series, and an A-rank Border agent, basically the second highest rank in the show. However, much like Osamu, she started out with a severely low Tryon level, and even currently, her levels are pretty average, but she takes things in a different direction. Her main trigger's the Scorpion, a blade with the highest attack power and versatility in Border. It's able to change shape and size for various scenarios, but with very low durability, so blocking attacks with it isn't exactly ideal, neither is stretching it too much. She and Osamu both use the asteroid trigger, but Kitora uses that trigger in the form of a gun, as gun triggers tend to shoot bullets faster with greater range at the cost of bullet control. They both have Spider, but Kitora uses it to zip around the battlefield on her own for the most part. So it's very clear here, Kitora's setup is also very conservative, but she's styling it into a close combat rogue, foregoing defense to up her ability to end fights quickly and dash cancel like a motherfucker. Osamu aims to be a defensive strategist, Kitora's no bitch. Two characters with the same problems and access to the same tools, but dealing with their problems in different ways. It's so simple and much less mystifying compared to most shonen powers, but it nonetheless works well for showing characterization, not to mention world building. Because Border isn't just anime Hogwarts number 69, it's closer to a military organization, a fact that even affects the triggers themselves and how they are used. Experimental and unique weaponry are reserved for the top agents of the organization, while everyone else has to use standard issue gear, meaning in every fight involving another Border member, you know what they know about their weaponry and vice versa. So the game is often about who can capitalize on their strengths better or who is worse at covering their weaknesses, not to mention teamwork being the name of the game. And as they move higher up the ladder, they can make modifications to established triggers. For example, this is the Kogetsu, standard melee weapon, equal attack, equal defense, all reliable. Simple. In Season 3, this mad lad, Ko Murakami, came up with an idea. Everyone will be fighting in a digital building complex with a working light system. So what if you turn out the lights and take the beam out of the saber? They won't know what hit them. And for the most part, they didn't. It's not some huge power-up, but it's a practical cosmetic change, yet one that isn't completely out of left field. You never know what to expect, but when you see it, there's not a hair out of place. It didn't completely decide the fight either, it just upped the stakes a shit ton, all just by changing the settings of a weapon. No different from a sniper getting a better nozzle or how a soldier modifies their knife. And again, anyone can do this, it simply depends on who thinks of it first, and most importantly, how those measures are overcome. The higher up the totem pole you go, the more likely you are to see agents with clever mods or usage of their triggers. It only takes something very small to push you so much further, all while working with the same weapon from the same organization with just enough room to improvise. And all this is set up for when the real show starts, when they have to fight alien trigger users. Unlike our heroes, the neighbor triggers are much more weird and diverse, so individual in function that they barely mesh with one another, and they are extremely powerful. These guys are what would be more in line for any character in a typical shonen story, but in World Trigger, they are raid bosses in a video game. Adversaries with patterns, weapons, and abilities you don't have, with weaknesses you need to figure out just to survive a little bit longer. Very few of these baddies can be stopped by a single character as well, which places teamwork and strategy as an even greater priority. It really feels like the characters are fighting back against much more powerful and advanced civilizations with cooperation and ingenuity. No other point in the series demonstrates this better than the Aftocrater invasion arc. Neighbors from the dimension called Aftocrater incite a massive invasion on Mikado City, all to abduct its inhabitants and harvest their Trion energy. Multiple major fights break out, each one of them deserving of their own video, but let's focus on one. This guy, Ramanane, is a neighbor who seemingly has all the cards. This goon has got high Trion amount, strong shields, and basically every shooting-based trigger we've seen so far. On like all the steroids.
Tastes like shit.
On the good guy side, we got 2 frontline attackers, 1 A-ranked shooter, and a bunch of gunner and sniper scrubs sprawled out on the battlefield. So how do they win? Well, a lot of it's dedicated to simple misdirection. A straight fight would be complete suicide, so every move made was done to divert Ramanane's attention. The shooter creates a smoke screen, giving the 2 attackers time to put pressure on his defense before he could fire any shots. Midorikawa's Grasshopper trigger is a simple support trigger that creates small boosting platforms. Good for rogue tactics. And Yosuke has a spear Kogetsu that can redirect its blade potentially past shields, all while the shooter Izumi is giving suppressive fire. Their hit and run tactics seem to be working well until Ran here takes it to another level.
They fly now!
He rains down heavy fire on the heroes, forcing them to scramble for cover, which gives him the perfect chance to isolate one of the attackers. They're alone in the hallway, Ramanane being understandably cocky after overcoming their offense. Still cocky though, because this is still their world. As such, Midorikawa uses the fire extinguisher as a smokescreen, making Ramanane think he was going to keep up the same tactics as before, running to his team. But Midorikawa calls his bluff and deals the first major blow, cutting his leg. He only uses a couple of triggers throughout the battle, but he manages to deal a major blow to an even stronger enemy. Later on in the fight, where the agents manage to put even more pressure on him due to their positioning and numbers, Ramanane decides to roam in between the buildings as cover. Exactly right where they wanted him. Yosuke jumps down towards Ramanane, catching him by surprise, but still in firing range. By most stretches, this is where Yosuke would be instantly blown away, even if he uses a shield. Hell, even twice the basic shields everyone uses wouldn't help. But what about all of them? As I said, cooperation and ingenuity. The limitations are also mostly the same. You see, a common thing with a lot of shonen power systems is that characters get this passive aura around them that shields from almost any major injury, and whoever has the bigger number takes less damage. It isn't a bad thing to incorporate, but it does run the risk of being too samey for your battle system, even though it's just an excuse for characters to survive nuclear explosions or whatever. Here's the thing though. World Trigger does not care how high your power level is. A shot to the chest is a shot to the friggin' chest. You can get stabbed, sliced up, limbs cut off, and punctured the same way as everyone else. Most of the time. Every character has access to shield and barrier triggers that can almost never surround the full body, like a passive buff. This puts more attention on the character's reaction time and the ability to predict incoming attacks. Losing limbs as often as it happens in World Trigger is also an important factor that can greatly influence how fights may go, especially when most fighters are some kind of dual wielder. It feels way more tense because we know that one false move, one half-ass misplay, and it's over. This ups the tension and keeps fights balanced. And honestly, I think that's the best word to describe this system. Triggers are perfectly balanced, just like their fights. They're limited in the right ways, balanced in the right places, and always finds great creative usage of abilities within that scope. Most importantly, it's just really fucking cool. And I can't wait to tell you all about it. Oh, you thought I was done? Buddy, this series deserves all the spotlight it can get, and I'm bringing that clout. Stay tuned.
this was pretty interesting. Didn't get to say much because I didn't know much about the show and how they compare it to other shows. I'm pretty sure I could have, but like, it was interesting nonetheless. I'm not gonna lie. For some weird reason, that show never really interests me. Still to this day, still doesn't. I don't think it's a bad show. I don't even think it's bad art. It's just something about it just doesn't interest me very much. But it seems to caught the attention of a lot of people for it to have 3 seasons straight, so it can't be bad.
Yeah, me neither.
It just never caught my attention to watch it. Maybe it's the way it looks. Maybe that's what it is. I'm subconsciously just avoiding it because of the way it looks, and that's probably not a good thing, but then again, it's like, I can't help myself. But like, I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird thing. It's a weird thing. Anyway, I think that's it. Yeah, let me see that. No choice. I think we'll do one last video. I'll do one last video. It'll be a Clownfish TV video. I know I did a lot of Clownfish today. I don't really mean to do that, but I saw something that was kind of interesting that I didn't get to mention. So I'm gonna see if we can. Yeah, I'll probably might go on VR chat, but like, can I find it in time? You know what? Fuck it. I'll save it. I'll save it off. You know what? I won't even do this. Like, subscribe, share, follow, and comment. I hope you guys enjoyed this. It's 7:48, so I'm gonna stop for now. I'm sorry that I got on really late, guys. I got on around like what, 5? I think it was 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock. I think 4:30. I didn't mean to go on so late. I'm so sorry about that, guys. But we'll finish this off tomorrow. Thank you for coming in. I do appreciate every last one of you who came in and gave me likes and stuff like that and follows. I do appreciate it very much so. So, I'll catch you guys tomorrow, and we're gonna finish this off tomorrow. Being is pretty much done. I just need to put in the grayscale and everything else. I'm gonna clean up some stuff like the hands while you guys are gone. But we're pretty much at the end. So I'm gonna finish this off tomorrow. I'm kinda excited. I will not draw the feet because it was supposed to be a half body
Silver
thing.
Comet.
So
It's all good.
So wait.
Emma, head out. Have a nice day.
Okay. Do your thing, bro. I appreciate it. Later, guys. Boop, 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 boop.